will be here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Brendo's at the big desk.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon as we head towards the weekend here. We're still in negative territory, but the march higher does continue at this point this afternoon. We're heading in the right direction now, just 0.44 away from positive territory once again for the S&P. About the same there for the Dow, 0.4 negative territory, 0.5% for the NASDAQ. We've been chopping around here, there or thereabouts, around 0.5% for quite some time. For the actual, that's the actual index on this board, neither the 100 or the composite. Here in Toronto, still red as well, 0.63 for TSX futures downside. We're well off the lows here for crude oil. Remember, it was better part of 2% at one point this morning. 3.6, meanwhile, the rally continuing. Here for Bitcoin, 1.9 for Ethereum. Pretty good look this afternoon. Pretty good couple of days at that. This afternoon, this turning into a bit of a thing here this afternoon as well. This is the 2-year. So we are heading back to, I'll get the other chart in a sec here, but this is the 2-year on a daily chart back to the upside through 4.8, I should say. Early on this morning, we're back below it right now, but trying to get higher as we head through the afternoon. KMX, we mentioned early on this morning, earnings from them better than expected, 9.3%. Still 20+% on the short side for that one. So a heads up for CarMax. NCLH, notably strong here, 2.25%. CCL just 0.9. RCL even worse than that, about 0.5% positive territory. But there is a little bit of strength coming back into some of the travel names. I saw some of the hotels and casinos trying to get back to the upside. Retailers as well in positive territory. So consumer discretionary names are gradually making their way towards positive territory, but whether we get there or not remains to be seen. It's all about tech still at this point this afternoon. That's Intel, 0.7 in positive territory. It's been notably strong versus the rest of the semiconductor group throughout the entire day. Still very red, though, unfortunately for them. Software names, hardware names, same story. Mostly in negative territory. Industrial stocks trying to get a few more green ones popping up here since the last time we looked at that, but trying to get back to break even at best. It was banks that was leading at one point downside. They've since reversed some of that. AIZ, a tough day, 4% in negative territory. Utilities, material stocks, energy names, all still there or thereabouts from the last time we saw it. A few more positive names, including, tough to see, but that one down there. There's Meta, 1.12. Nice look on a Friday afternoon as we get going here into the last 2 hours of the day. It's been pretty interesting as far as the price action. We've had a few Fed speakers come through saying things that haven't really made much of a difference. This one having a nice day. Coinbase to the upside, as we've been noting. Back to day highs right now, 7.25% off that Supreme Court ruling, which was actually way down here, and then we faded that. And it's been nothing but upside ever since. We were talking a little bit about big tech this morning when we got going in the pre-market from a standpoint of essentially it's been kind of a back and forth week with Fed speak, with the testimony from Jerome Powell, very sensitive as far as interest rate headlines are concerned, obviously for big tech. But they seem to be trying here at least, guys. Happy Friday afternoon.
Yes, sir. The bulls are definitely happy.
Happy Friday afternoon.
It is one of those weird 0.5% down days where the market's just basically been trending up since holding the bottom, but
15,000, of course.
15,000 holds. Let's just get it out of the way because this morning, 15,000 was the line in the sand. We took painstaking efforts to try to point this one out as it was an important level down there. It broke. This is on the NASDAQ, by the way, 15-minute chart of the NQ. I'm just using my black chart, it's just easier. I have my line drawn there. So 15,000 broke, and then it held, a higher low, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive green candles on the 15-minute chart. That's what you call an uptrend despite being down 5%, but you can probably have a guess at how the afternoon has gone. I've been shorting Coinbase. We'll get to some big cap tech, but quite frankly, this thing has been an absolute rocket. I was short off 59. I know I said I'd wait for $60. I had a 59 half short. That stunk. The 60 short started out okay, gave you 50 pennies, and then broke out. Tried the overrun a couple times, and then it got to 61. This is when I kind of wised up and started tracking what was going on in Bitcoin. And as it was happening, whatever, because we're talking big tech, but I got to talk about Bitcoin because it was continuing to move up. It was when I saw this roll over on BTC and realized it was the 61 top that was happening at. So I started working the 61 short. I had the chance to just end things green, but I decided, of course, to do two things. One, hold on to a piece for VWAP. So I'm holding on to a piece underneath 60 to try and get another like 70 cents to $1 out of it, and gave back 40 pennies. Went to flat, then went back to shorting it off 61, and then went back into red on Coinbase. So I had a chance to just take the win and go green on Coinbase despite fighting it since 59.5. Instead, we are where we are. It is still trend up. I'm only in Palantir and Virgin Galactic. Palantir with that 14 level, obviously. I think we talked about that one in the morning, and then Virgin with the, I don't know, they had the offering, of course. But the big story right now is the market's rolling over, or attempting to roll over, will be what happens to Apple. Can Apple stay green here? If there's going to be any kind of a bounce, because I think the market's coming back down right now, but if there's going to be any kind of a bounce, I think Apple 187, the previous high, and the previous close, has been one of the stronger names out there. So if you're looking for a bounce play, I tend to think the market's rolling. Tesla just came into the downside. I just got shaken out of Tesla by a size buyer. I know Trad was in this one at 62. I had the 62 to 61. I think VWAP is incoming here. So it's 0.6 to the downside, but it's a weird 0.6 down on the NASDAQ.
All right, big tech a trade. Hell yeah, right now. We're short Meta, we're short AMD, we're short Alibaba, we're short Micron. I mean, look at this Meta trade. We just tried to get that. First of all, I was a little bit peed off when we were short in here earlier. We got in and out off the 288, but then we just got 289s back in, and now we go green, obviously, here on Meta. We'll wait to see how far down it wants to go. 187. I mean, the stock went green, up 1% today. It's been an absolute rocket ship, like straight to the upside. 279 bottom, 289 top, a $10 intraday move there for Meta. Just right there, taking out 50s. Oh man, we should have had a bid there. All right, I was bidding 287 flat, I believe, yeah. So we're trying to wait for that to come back in, but that looks like we just dumped in a little bit there on Meta. So yeah, so far so good. We've been really fighting AMD shorts all day here. We're back into the short again. I mean, look at this today, just short, short, short. And look, all these outs are below, so we've done really, really well to trade. I mean, some of them are here, but you know, really good trading here. Now let's take advantage of AMD to the downside. I'm still here for the trade to the downside. Now we're below the 50 period. We're holding some of these shorts. We're green today, so all is well on that front. But yeah. Let's see if we can get a little lower. I mean, we just got a fill on 35 there on AMD, waiting for even lower than that. Let's see if we can't get back to 110 and have a real party here this afternoon. So yeah, it should be a good one here. Intel is the long. We talking, okay, we don't have any chips on there. I didn't want to spoil it. Intel's been the long. We actually had this on. We talked about it when we were live. Well, not live, but we talked about having this long off that bottom. So there it is right now, 50 cents in the money on Intel. It's the only long that we have. As right now, the biggest position for me is AMD. So we got to watch out for this one coming back in. I was saying I like 110. I mean, I like 109 even better. But, you know, this one needs to retrace just a little bit. Well off of VWAP is all the way down here. So that's where we're hoping for. But right now, Meta downside, everything going down. But look at this market trying to run into support again right here. We've already been down here. It's 15.1. I'm going to take a little bit more out just to make sure we capture profits. But we are waiting for a bounce here off 15.1.
Dips successfully bought here in energy land, in oil land, including on, I'll drag this over, including on the futures. We were talking about oil futures here this morning. On this big flush. By the time we got to the open, however, equity open, we were already on the way back to the upside. So it has been quite the V bottom for crude oil today. I had XOM up here. Yeah, nothing really to see here. A bit of a quiet day so far. A lot of these stocks still kind of grinding along the lows.
Yeah, and this 67 level, Brendo, like we were talking about off camera, getting bought up again on the CL August contract. It's been a daily level that has been repeatedly bought up, looking towards highs now, 69.10. Whether it's OPEC or the OPEC plus cut, or whether the slow Chinese reopening, it really can't get out of its way. It's been stuck in this zone.
It's almost like a tale of two stories right now. I mean, on one hand, yes, rates are going higher. Theoretically, that could lead to lower demand, but we're going into summer, which is driving season, right? So, exactly. I mean, one kind of offsetting the other here, I think.
That could be true. Look, this ended up being a bit of a nothing burger unless you just sat, like looking for the long at the open. I don't know. Like I was looking at Oxy, the daily chart gave you some confirmation of support down here, but to me, it needed to maybe make another leg down. We talked about underneath 55. So if there's no trade, I said this like earlier, if there's no trade, you don't have to put it on. If there's nothing there, you're down just under 0.5%. Still an inside day in the name I was looking at. Even though there was the bounce, it was a very slight one. And so we didn't put any trades on with oil. I think that's what you should do. You can look at the same thing for XOM. People around here like to call it ZOM. It's XOM, if this even wants to load. Very muted day. Did make a nice double bottom. You never saw 100 to the downside. It didn't really test those local bottoms here at 101, like barely getting to 101.5. And you're just someone riding the trend if you look at the daily chart. But yeah, they didn't fall enough, I think, to activate a day trade. And if we do, there's always next week, maybe there's a trend down and we see 52, 53. That's what I want to see on Oxy. On XOM, you probably want to see like 100 or just underneath it. I doubt there's a trade this afternoon. All futures markets on a Friday closing down. I don't think we're going to be looking at these names. It is going to be whether or not this NASDAQ wants to continue its rollover. That's the big story. And then, of course, crypto as well. So let's watch that and maybe not oil till next week.
Yeah, if you guys were here with us at 8:30 when we discussed oil about 9 o'clock earlier this morning, I brought you guys a name and I said CVX, watch the 150 level, that's been the bottom. And then look what happened right off the open today for Chevron. Again, just focusing too much on tech names. The bottom is 150.12. You know, so it hits that bottom and then rips up almost immediately $1.50 right back to its highs. So CVX right there, missed opportunity, but I still like it. I like oil. We talked about XLE as well. I mean, we don't trade it often on the show, but this is another good opportunity to buy it down here near $75, $76. So let's watch out for XOM. Geez, right now. Yeah, let's go. Now we're starting to bleed to the downside right here. Come on, tech. Let's go. Let's bring it, AMD. Let's get on that bear and see what happens to the downside right now. We did just take out some meta, though, right here at 287.50 because it just kept bouncing. Let's get to the bottom now of meta and see where we want to go from. See where we want to go from here. Meta, huge move up. You know, goes up, must come down. No, it won't, but we'll wait. We'll wait to see what VWAP has in store here for Meta. Let's just hold on to these. Let's see if we can have a big afternoon here with the shorts. We're already cashing out of AMD, although it looks ridiculous on AMD, I admit that. I mean, too many outs. Let's wait now for that 110 level here on advanced micro devices. I actually have a bid at 23, and then we'll wait for some 10s to go. So if we can get something right there, that'd be pretty cool, just the top of this range. Then we'll get something out here, I'm hoping, and then even lower. But for right now, the NASDAQ's the one that has to crack. It has to crack this 15.1. You see what happens? It tried it and it just got bought back up. So it's too bad I'm net short, and I think the short's going to work because that's a pretty good sign right there that there's buyers here at 15.1. We need to break that. Let's go. Push down lower. Buyers, stop buying this thing up, man. Let the bears win for once.
Guess what's coming down a little bit here?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, not a big move, but you've got like 5 reds in a row on my 3-minute and a consolidation breakdown in Coinbase. Coinbase was consolidating off of 62. It just broke down at 40s. I got 39 in the consolidation break. Of course, we've been fighting it. Way too many front-end trades. The back-end trade, this is a back-end trade here where you catch it on the way down after it rejects the level. That's what you want to do. So this is starting to work into the downside. I think you could get VWAP, but my spidey sense tells me, why not actually get it all out in front of 60 if it gets there this time? Because not doing that, I just told you guys, was not the smartest play. Someone just said in the chat that they're joining Palantir. It's a slow move in that one, but that was a strong name. I want to give one shout out to Palantir for breaking 14. I got back into it. I was stopped out above 14 even. It is not even busting through VWAP at this point. So it's going sideways, but the short to me was off 14. I had the 90s, 96s in here. I did have some at 98 originally. I added on the way down at 96, so I'm out of my 98s into the 96s. I like VWAP for this as well. Watch out for Apple, though. Apple still trying to hold on. You talk about 15.1. Well, what happens when we get to 15.1? Apple happens to be at its potential support level 187. That's exactly what happened at the bottom today. 15,000 got held. Apple held 185. So if we hold on to 15.1, Apple long in front of 187 is going to make a heck of a lot of sense. If I get long a big cap tech name, I feel like it's going to be Apple this afternoon, at least the way it's been trading so far.
We were just talking about Tesla here from the charging station standpoint. Washington, guys, the latest one to come out here. We were talking about Texas the other day. Washington State planning to require Tesla's charging plug at state federally funded sites. So one by one, I guess we're going to see everyone move in that same direction. JD Power with an interesting article down here. Sharif and I were just talking about this, essentially implying that GM, Ford, Rivian will benefit more from the adaptation of Tesla's technology than Tesla could. But that remains to be seen. But we were just saying, if you missed it this morning, Ron Barron thinks it's going to $500 by 2025 as well. What I was mentioning was, right now the charging stations are set up in a certain way that because the cars all have the plug on the same side. So if you pull a Rivian into a Tesla charging station, you're actually blocking two of them.
Really?
Because it's on the other side of the car, right? So you have to go in the wrong way, essentially. So yeah, I mean, there might be a user issue there at some point.
Yeah, not having been a Tesla owner myself, I had no idea about the logistical output of it. But yeah, from the user experience, what we know is Tesla users have complained about there being long lines at recharging stations. Add to that now GM vehicles, Ford vehicles. Elon Musk may have a little revolt on his hands here as his users, his base, the people he cares about, may be a little bit discontented with this new move.
It definitely adds more options or adds more to the conversation as far as options for buying, guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, all jokes aside, I mean, you can chuckle about the notion of that predicament, but that's the kind of thing that gets figured out. If it's going to be the standard, they're going to figure that out, quite frankly. We all know that's going to be the case, but it's still kind of amusing. Look out, we're getting a bit of a bounce in the market. I did get into Apple long, but I got stopped out on Space. I'm going to get a reload in front of 14 on Palantir because that's bouncing, and Tesla bouncing off 259 here. I was short off the high. It's the morning high is 262. I think that's a pretty solid top. It was a good short. I didn't hold it to VWAP. There was a size buyer at 61 even. I think a VWAP retrace could be in play for these bad boys. And if you look at the higher time frame, not a heck of a lot, but if you do break the top, 265 yesterday's close, nice little line. It's a bit of a head and shoulders pattern, worth keeping in mind. If 262 gets taken out this afternoon and we end up making fresh highs and the NASDAQ goes green, 265 would be that line up there on Tesla. It's the kind of thing that if I see it at 350, I don't know. There's been so many days in the last couple of weeks. We have a big cap tech name that gets to a huge resistance level or a big level in the last 10 minutes, and it's worth taking the shot for. You give it like 20 cents or whatever it happens to be. I know it was NVIDIA the other day. It was another one yesterday that slips my mind. If Tesla does that at 65 today on a Friday, I'd probably take that shot. First things first, I'm shorting 62 if it gets back up there.
I'm just regrouping a little bit. Okay. All right. We're just regrouping a little bit here on AMD because we just took some more short at the same price we had before. So let's wait to see. We just got some 67s. It just dipped into the mid 50s and we didn't take anything out. Watch out for the top break here on AMD 85. Up right there. So if you zoom in a little bit, it's this little wick high there that I'm going to get out if we take it. That's 85. I'm not even going to wait for 111. The market's really just kind of choppy right now. AMD is obviously going to turn green in a couple seconds, so that's not going to be the right name to short. I mean, we shorted this the same time we shorted Meta, and Meta's now dollars in the money. So, clearly one name, although this is up 1%, the run this has had, it is giving back a little bit right now. Meta, as you can see now, $1.50 in the money on that one. So we'll wait, but it does look like AMD is coming out here a little bit. We'll take one more short around 78 or something against that 85. So let's give this one a little bit more room to the upside, and then we'll get out at 85 if it breaks it. But that's my idea here for AMD. Starting to short it again. We're above VWAP. We're above everything, so this could get squashed. The teal line right there is at 110.56. That's the 21 period. So we're going to watch out for that on AMD. But yeah, you have to. You can't really see anything. Don't worry. It's too many outs there, Neil, on here. Neil's squinting to see all these lines.
No, I'm looking for the teal one.
It's right here. It's this.
Is that teal?
No, it's not teal. It's Max's trusted teal. I have it dotted. So it's the
I actually, for the second, I'm like,
I don't think I'd be able to see teal very well.
Well, for a second, I'm like, what is wrong with me? That doesn't look like the color teal.
No, it's not. It's
okay.
that's Max's line, trusted. So I stole.
I know I got you.
Yeah, I stole the 21 period from him. So okay,
was
that's it for
colorblind,
me.
man.
I don't have any Tesla trades. We were looking at that 250 area. I still think you want to get long Tesla. I love that story about the chargers. Just more opportunity for them to make more money. And if people are going to complain about long lines, they're just going to install more chargers. So I just feel like that's more money coming in, and Tesla up and away.
As per usual for Tesla. I was just watching this ADES. A few people mentioning ADES popping up on volume here. I haven't seen much in the way of why, but very, very, very thin. So be careful for ADES, up about 25%. We were talking SoFi this morning. Ended up being not much to do, really. It was, downside. Once again this morning, there was a few notes this week. One of them coming from Piper Sandler. I forgot who the other ones were, but a few negative notes for SoFi throughout the week.
Yeah, SoFi, one of those ones we're going to be watching closely as the Supreme Court gives out the remaining decisions at the end of this month. One of them will directly be related to the student loan forgiveness program by the Biden administration, whether it was legal or not. If it's ruled against, all those forgiveness loans will be due and payable, so they'll be looking to pay, maybe refi them with somebody like SoFi. So whether or not this comes out good or bad, SoFi is going to go one way or the other.
$8 ends up being the line in the sand again. A nice dip opportunity off the bat there this morning.
Yeah, it was, look, it gave the $8 trade early. That's the trade we both had on. It's actually setting up a breakout. I went back to the well at 8 even with some success and then stopped out through the high. This could set up for a bit of a break. We always talk about like big lines in the sand and flat bottom breaks. But if you look at 8, you have a volume wick underneath 8. You immediately reclaim it. You're now consolidating off the high and potentially breaking it out, which would be at about 820. That's a long way of saying I don't know why I wouldn't be looking at an 820 break here on SoFi. There's some room. We closed at 850 yesterday. In the aftermarket, it rolled over and kind of retested this 835. So 20 gives you 2 shots, 15 cents to the 835, another 15 cents to the previous close at 850. So it's at 818 right now. If the market holds 15.1, as long as we're above that, I see some breakouts possibly come into play. So yeah, 820 looks like a decent break. Try to get some 21, 22s, give it a few cents to the downside, and try and take 10 to 15 to the upside. I did grab Apple. I did get into that Apple. It got halfway to the high of the day, so I took some out. If it gets to the high of the day, I'm taking some more out. This is another stock I'm going to like to the long, but this is buying a dip. SoFi would have to break that top, or otherwise I'm not going to trade it.
Yeah, we did the same thing. We learned our lesson yesterday from Lucid. Once Lucid broke that $6 mark, and it just kept on cratering there. A lot of action early on these names, and then late, you give people an opportunity to come back and buy it up. And we know that there's these big social media names and lower priced dollar equities like a SoFi that can just get bought right back up. I mean, this is what we did early. It's a pretty easy trade for me anyways. Breaks through 8. We let it settle down. We see that wick high there at 808, 810. So we take the short there at 8, then we get it again at 795. And then there's some downside pressure. We actually have the bottom wick of the day. We have a 772 fill right there, so that is the low tick right there. So we were able to get that, and we got a lot of outs. Then we got another out right there, and we were kind of talking about that this seemed like it wanted to get back up. As soon as we made that base, then started going. There's our last 10% that we held it to get out at that high right there. So this was actually set up as my out in the first place, 803. So we take about 10 cents worth of risk and make about, the best we made was 30, but that doesn't really count. We made about 20. So I think the risk to reward R to R on this one was about 2 to 1. So SoFi is a good trade, man. We made it today. It's actually one of my better stocks P&L wise. So take SoFi, breaks $8, pretty easy trade there, as you can see. But what's about to stop us out right now is AMD. AMD is absolutely ripping right now with this market going to the upside. So a couple last fills here, and then we're just going to get out if we break 90. We talked about that. It looks like AMD wants to continue its march higher. I thought we were going to be right by shorting this again here today, but it looks like we'll give some back on our last couple days here because the short right now not working out. So this will be our last shot here on AMD on the short. Like I said, man, Meta was printing, a lot of other names printing to the downside. It doesn't look like AMD is one of those names here. So,
all right, we'll wrap things up here. We're just noting that Fisker really hasn't had much love today. It's been downside ever since the open. I mean, that's essentially the open. Top of the session high was 9:30 this morning. We're back to session lows, now down 2%. It was up about 1.8 in the pre-market. First initial deliveries in the U.S. coming through as of yesterday, staggering 22 of them.
You mean the market wasn't impressed with the 22 deliveries, Brendo? Yeah, it's been, look, got up to 550 here in the pre-market, and it's been sell the news type event the entire day. Whether or not they have a dual listing here in Europe and North America, they can sell their car, they'll have to get more sold to excite me.
Much talked about, much known supply chain issues, I guess, continuing for FSR. Not much to do today.
What's going on?
They need to sell. I mean, 22 probably gets not the number to get us to trade it or to get more activity. And who knows? There's going to be a lot of names out there in the EV space that are battling, and maybe they figure it out at some point. Just a couple of things. We just broke 61 on Coinbase. It's starting to come back down, even with the NASDAQ holding. So getting a bit of a pullback. Crypto, it has continued arrow down in Bitcoin. As it's, I don't know, on my 3-minute chart, it's now like 7 or 8 candles in a row to the downside. So I think we could see the VWAP retrace as crypto's pulling back in. Brendo?
Guys, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk, everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out trade ideas. TraderTV.live, bottom right corner there, gets you 25% off.
Short right here. You are right. Let's go AMD. You can just kiss my. I don't want to tell him too much, Brad. Right there, but there we go. Meta as well. $2. That's a banger right there on Meta. I just didn't want to wait for 285, like I said there. I was surprised. I was looking at AMD and like, why is this ripping there? And Meta is holding. So, I mean, Meta was going down, AMD was ripping. So I was a little nervous there that Meta might turn itself around, but we'll take $2. There it goes. Now it's flush city on Meta. And wow, we are just like lucky, man. We take that fill there. Okay. Here we go. I mean, I don't know. Is it lucky? I don't know. But we're taking the money now, right now, like immediately. Come on, AMD. Let's go. Let's get on that bear one more time. What the hell did you just do, AMD? Why did you just go to 95 right there? We shorted it up there, so all good on that one. Actually, this probably was my biggest position on AMD for the day. So we almost got squanched right there. But we didn't. So I've never even seen Rick and Morty.
You really got to see Rick and Morty.
I really got to do that because I have no idea even what that means. Right now,
Squanchy's amazing.
Yeah, I know. There goes Micron as well. Let's go. We'll spin it for Micron because that's a nice move here to the downside as well. We're just short Micron here at 65.60. We had that off VWAP right there, so that's the banger right there. Micron downside. Let's just punch some out right here if we can. There we go. We get some mid prints. Good out there on Micron as the markets come back in. Wow. We weren't close to being like, whatever. As I said, we're green on the day, but that would have been a nasty take there on AMD. Like, so we'll take advantage of this all the way back down. I have to get out of my head, like when we retrace back in, I feel sometimes so wrong about the calls that when it comes back, I just start to take it out. So that way, when it comes back down here, I don't have as many shares as I probably should for the amount of risk that I'm taking. So this is now 25 cents in the money, $2 in the money on Meta, 50 cents in the money on Micron, all as well over here in Katina Clan.
Yeah, I've just got some out on Coinbase broke that 61. I was kind of choking it out pretty quick, but there is a slight bounce happening at 31,000 on Bitcoin. 31,009 we just bounced at. So I just took some at 60.80. I think you could be a bit of a bounce back into the upside. If that does happen, it has been following pretty closely the entire way. I don't think necessarily we'd break at 30,000. If that were to happen, yeah, come on, load. This doesn't want to go full screen when I want it to. If we're not going to get past that 31,000 to the downside, then I probably have to cover this Coinbase, and now it's going to probably go all the way. And thank you very much, Binance. Every time I full screen this, it does exactly the same thing to me. Frustrating. So it's kind of catching some support. It's a big move. It's another higher low. The trend is still upside. It's breaking all the moving averages, but if it holds 31,000, you could at least see another 300 points into the upside. I am not a gigantic fan of the long in coin, But if we get back to the high, it's going to be hard not to look for the breakout through the top. It's just respecting the fact that, at some point, if you keep making fresh highs, if there is another jam to the upside, I don't think that's going to happen on Bitcoin. If there was, you have room on the daily chart. So as much as we're fighting it here on coin, and it is working right now, if this were to reverse, this is a trend which doesn't have actual resistance until you go at least $3 higher. So let's try to respect that if we get there to the upside. I'm not sure what the bet should be, but I do feel as if like 15.1 on the NASDAQ has been that linchpin back and forth. Because on this dip, on the first time down, we broke it and fell apart. We're kind of catching a bid here. I'm getting the same rinse and repeat in Apple at these levels. So 15.1 on the NASDAQ. For Apple, it's 187. We're on the bid for a 187 reload here. As that got all the way up to the high of the day, we're going to rinse and repeat that. I don't see too many longs that I like outside of Apple 187. I know exactly where we're going to be wrong there. Sun Soul, who's Nakamoto. Yeah, you got jokes out there. Will Apple test VWAP? I don't know. If I knew it was going to test VWAP, I wouldn't be long the stock. I'd be saying for sure it's going to get to the downside. VWAP's at 186.20. Its high and close yesterday was 187 on Apple. So you have a 187 close yesterday. You have the NASDAQ at a support level, 15.1, when we're at 187. So let's deal with that level that's in front of us. If that breaks down, do I think we can get to VWAP? Yes. If we cannot hang on to 87, if the NASDAQ breaks 15.1 and we're headed back down to 15,000, then Apple should get to VWAP. But until then, 87 has been support. It just got back to the high of the day. Let's see if it can rinse and repeat.
All right. Oh, shut up. Dana White is speaking with Elon Musk today.
Set it up.
I know, I just saw it, just came out right here.
Set it up.
I guess it's on, maybe he's on. Oh, he dropped that. He was on the Pat McAfee show, it looks like, Dana White, just now. So I think it's not that it's new news, but that they're talking about it right now on the Pat McAfee show. So I doubt that. Why did Randy put a picture?
I was trying to figure that too. I was going to ask you actually why we have a picture. I know we were talking about.
This is Stiller, right?
So yeah, so
he
Sharif
passed away, didn't he?
Yeah, he's rest in peace.
Yeah.
But Sharif made a
Seinfeld?
comment about stopping short.
Oh, that's the best.
And I think that.
So I do that to my wife all the time.
Yeah, well, it's the move.
It's the move. It's just the
move.
move, and it's like, watch out. Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, it was during the midday when they put up, and I think Randy must have posted that picture at the same time we were talking about it. So. Yeah, rest in peace. I mean, Jerry Stiller was an absolute legend. Festivus.
Legend. I mean, everything for the rest of us, yeah.
Happy Festivus.
Not only that, I mean, they created a brand new holiday for many people. So Festivus for the rest of us. Geddy Lee, yeah, exactly. Oh, is that what they were talking? We don't know what that.
I have no.
What the nature of that picture was, but yeah, that's
that
it
what it
right
was?
there. Well, next time I see Randy, why did you put the Stiller and Geddy Lee and all that picture up?
Because Ben was a fan of Rush and Rush wanted the show.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's about Rush, so they were just all fans.
Oh,
of each other.
he apparently opened their tour. I did not know that. Okay.
Okay.
know.
So there you go. So Randy
Greatest
can still-
Canadians ever, says Davey, was Rush.
Yeah, I mean,
They're up there.
I mean, Tragically Hip was pretty.
Most people would have said Tragically Hip. I would have said
Tragically Hip was pretty hype. I saw them like 3 or 4
Yeah, I'd say
times.
Tragically Hip.
I actually saw them in North Bay in a really, really small outdoor festival. It was incredible. But yeah,
Not a
you know,
Festivus festival.
No, it was not a festival for Festivus. It was not. But okay, like what exactly is happening with
Tesla's dying.
Meta is like dying of slow death here, and it's not even really. It's still up on the day considering the market is down. It's nice to see Meta up, but this is 250 now in the money. We have multiple dollar clubs here today. I mean, this is just another one that just joined it right now is Meta, so we'll have to watch out for that. But yeah, good thing we took advantage of AMD because guess what, man, it came right back. So I don't know what that was all about. Right there, but we got out of like 70% of that on that move down. Like, look at it just hover. This is the 50-period moving average. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, it's hitting it over and over and over again. So I'm gonna put another bid, like, because now I think that we're probably, like, why is it retracing all the way back up? Look at the futures. It sucks because if I shorted anything else, we'd probably be cash money. You just talked about Apple, though. What's that doing?
It's holding 87.
That's the same thing, though. We would still be nicely in the money on that because it's that bump up where we got short on AMD, right? So we would now be only 20 cents in the money on it. Yeah, whatever. But it doesn't matter. We're out of the money on AMD. Would love to be 20 cents in the money on this one. Hopefully that'll come back up. Yeah, let's look at. Oh, I want to look at Oracle because we wrote Oracle down on our sticky note, and I was debating Serenity now on that one because this is a same kind of a move. Oh, right there. It's that 119. I was hoping it was still up here around 119.50 or at least 119, but now you're dropped down. We looked at that 119 VWAP there on Oracle. That's too bad. I was hoping it was around here that it might be a short, but it's not right now, down 1.6%. That's why we sort of wanted to get that short. What I sort of interrupted myself, and shout out, I got some messages I have to talk to there. I don't know what was up with this today, but you guys, some of you wanted me to switch it over. Amazon, Oracle, Tesla, AMD, all on here as a sticky note. 11,000 views, 23 retweets. This is, to me, 270 likes. Thank you so much. We went, talk about Seinfeld. There we go. Some people, shout out to Brian Shannon. Thank you so much for hitting the like on that as well and commenting on it. But yeah, people were talking about like, this feels more professional, and what they liked about it, this is a funny one. Look at this setup. They said, this is my trading setup at home. There's the can. You know what, you're not far away from that, to be honest with you. But anyways, people like it. They like the sticky note, but they also like the old school sticky note. So find that, go put some comments on it, tweet it out, whatever. I'm gonna look at that tonight. Maybe we go back to the old version, as I feel like there's a lot of positive comments about the old version as well. So maybe we'll do a bit of both, but I only have so much time in the middle of, or as we get ready for the show. So, you know, we're trying to spread it out. We're trying to give people what they want. And what I want is to try AMD one more time. We'll give it a go right now, right here, right now on this short. We'll give it to 111. We already know that's our stop. So we just missed 89s there. Come on. All right, so there goes AMD back. Are you kidding me? I offered 89 and this happened. So, okay, I'll take it. Nice downside move though.
Yeah, I might have half broken a rule because I said I would take the SoFi if we're still above 15.1 in the NASDAQ. We're at 15.1 and SoFi broke the top at 820. I have a 22 long. I don't think I want to be adding to this, and the tighter the stop will be if we're beneath 15.1. If we start going upside again, then we'll try to add to this or maybe give it a little bit more room. But what I'm sort of getting at is you're still kind of rejecting the bounce here on the NASDAQ. You're underneath 15. If you take out the next 10 handles down, you could really start to hua-dunk a little bit more on the overall futures. And then taking a top break, even if it is a good reversal here in SoFi, we'll have some trouble getting to the top. The other thing to watch is Apple, which is one of the stronger names. It's starting to come back into 187. I've canceled my bid. I want to see it bounce first. We'll see it bounce, and then we'll try the long. That's what worked at the bottom. Let's see if it works here at 187 again. So new position is SoFi. I don't feel like I want to add until I see a little bit more strength in the market or confirm some volume above that 820. Apple needs to bounce off 187 to work. I might reload some Coinbase, but it's got to be a little bit higher than here. As I'm watching Bitcoin, that's still moving down. I mean, Bitcoin's still falling. This market might not be ready to bounce, even if Apple holds.
52-week highs on Bitcoin today.
Yeah, it's a huge move. The daily
chart. No surprise it's dropping a little bit.
Yeah, it makes some sense. The daily chart has actually next resistance was, I don't know, like 10,000. It was ridiculous high. Like
yeah, it's every 5,000. It seems like there's little notches
like 32 there. Something at a big level on it. It's so far up. It makes sense it's coming down, but Coinbase is not exactly falling fast enough for me.
So, yeah, no. Coinbase is just one of those funny ones because it can also be controlled
they got
a little
the lawsuits.
Bit. So you feel like, isn't BlackRock in there? Or
it's still, the short interest is...
It's, what is it, 17 or something? I don't think it's super high.
Checking now. 21. It's 21, still 21%.
Okay. 21. Can you do something for me? All right. Oh, speak about that. I've been invited, and we'll be singing some 21 Savage and Drake. I want to be having a beer with Pratt at 4 o'clock. So we're going to be on the show together. What? Oh, you have to go buy it? Okay, well then I will be having water with Pratt on the show today.
It's Friday on the trading floor. There's beer somewhere around.
Yeah, maybe we could split a tall boy somewhere.
There's always beer here.
Then what are you waiting for, bro? I mean, all right. Okay, so anyways, it's too bad because the liquor store is like a 7-minute walk. Like it's not.
Oh, it's not 7 minutes, bro.
Young Street? It's less, isn't it?
I walk it in like 3 or 4 minutes. It's really not that.
Well, I mean 4. I mean if we chop it up, we're at 5. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Close. It's like you're really close to the beer store. There's no excuses. I saw like multiple people make runs already. It's Friday. Usually that's what you get. There's always, yes, people
Oh,
made
here,
runs.
I made a run. I didn't realize what was going on.
Sean has an LCBO thing. I saw Rob out there.
I got this, but I have to save this because my wife loves this sake.
I don't know what the
we
heck
talked
that is.
soju. We talked about this. I have no idea what it is either, but I went to the liquor store
I
and picked
missed
this
that
up.
conversation.
So, Katrine. Oh, Katrine's on the phone. I was going to say, get these guys on the phone because I'm basically demonstrating right now about this. This is green apple flavor. We're going to see if this is any good. It's soju from Seoul, Korea. It's not Japanese, it's Korean. Come on, Rob. Right now, but there it is right here.
Wow,
We're going to
Rob.
test this out. Apparently chilled, have this going. It is what it is right now, but I can't. I have this bottle and a grape one. Maybe I can crack a little bit of this with
I
Brad.
can't believe Rob said it was whatever. That's fine. He can't know everything. He
Well,
says
no,
Japanese.
because sake, right? I thought it was sake, but it is
I've never
Korean.
had it before.
Korean. So, is this any good? Anybody in the chat? Soju?
You guys let us know.
Oh,
Embalming fluid? No, it's not.
Emba-
CCL short.
embalming fluid. I don't know.
Is it that bad?
Is it? Are people not? Soju is great. There we go. Okay, I only need to read that once. I'm just going to put it away over here. I don't want it to fall off. There we go. Until
Japan has its own version apparently.
Oh,
There you go.
shochu. Okay, I have no idea.
We don't know how to pronounce it. I don't even know what it is.
How do you pronounce it then? Someone says their wife is Korean. How do you do that? It's SOJU, isn't it? Soju?
Oh, don't look at me, man. You're asking the wrong person. I would know.
I mean, I didn't even hear about it before today. So, okay. Okay, so Prad's asking me about, is this the one for AMD? Well, I mean, we talked about this. You know, since 1:30, 50 period, 50 period, 50 period. Every single time it's bouncing off. So I just keep getting out every time it comes down here. And then we're trying to hold. I've gotten out of less than half. I have about 60% left. But here it comes right back again. So guess where my bid is right now down here to get a little bit more out if we can get some fills as we're trying to break through and we're just not doing it. So AMD, what I keep saying to Prad, you might be hearing me say this. I'm saying wrong name. It's not. It's everything else is going, man. Like Micron is going. Nice downside move right here. As 40 cents in the money. Meta, we're at $2.50 in the money. That's working out. Alibaba's just kind of chilling, but we have this short. That was just going there. We're short right now, so that was pretty good. Okay, here we go. What's up to Nick Garcia right here? Soju is amazing. It's Korean. Okay, good. Well, I mean, we confirmed that. I showed it.
Well,
imported
yeah.
from Korea, it says.
That's
So,
what it says on the bottom.
okay, it's so good. Just don't drive after. No, we're not doing that. Buy a bottle for Prad. Yeah. Oh, with this. Okay, we will. Yeah, we will go. Well, I mean, unfortunately today, like I said, we'll get that going. Next time I'm on the show with Prad, we'll definitely be drinking some soju.
Send Brankles or somebody.
All right, so he's waiting for AMD, and then he's going to go
Do
get
what?
to flush.
Oh, I
Flush,
see.
baby. That's what we're waiting for. Neil, come on, man. Let's get these
Well,
bad.
I can't see Prad's position.
No, I didn't look. But I know he's short. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because he's at the same position as me. So we're chanting this one out. Let's go to the downside for Alibaba as well. And then here we go, Pradley. Here we go. Nice moves now, starting to fill in. So we just took some more out right here, right? Because that's the 50 period. And here's the break. So past stopping spots right here, 35, 36. We don't have any bids there. We don't have any bids at all anymore. I got to put some more bids out here to get out. But you could see me having problems putting out bids. Nah. Today on AMD, we have 170 fills. So here we go. Nice positive name, though. So that's good. All right, nice. Some size just showed up there, Prad, and everybody. Let's put another bid out. Bang, right there. We'll spin the money. This is paying for that alcohol right now, Bradley. As we get to the downside right now, Micron also starting to crack lower. 44 cents in the money for Mr. Micron. Prad, this is our show, man. Don't worry about it. Nice downside move here. You know, you give this guy the mic, and next thing you know, it's nonstop over there. So, yeah, join our floor, by the way. Shout out to Day Trade the World, right?
Oh, we got it. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I don't know if they're taking more applications. They just hired a couple people through, but you can come join us at go to daytradetheworld.com and find out more how you could join here. Meet Prad, meet Neil, meet Brendan, meet all of us.
Meet Brankles, the floor manager.
Meet Brankles.
We'll get the email up there because if you want to apply to this
Shout out
floor,
to Big Dog Brankles.
we do have the email for the trading floor manager and co-manager up there, and we'll get that at some point and get it to you guys.
It's Brankles at kickingass.com.
Well, I think it's Brandon, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's something like that.
His name is
Do
Brandon.
not use that email address. I have no idea where that's going to
It
go.
is absolutely not. Apple obviously broke 187. My stop was at 95. I tend to not like even dollar stops, so I put it a little bit underneath. The reload, no good. I did
go.
reload in PTR.
Let's go.
And Coinbase as well. Coin went to the upside there and is now coming back as Bitcoin is kind of hanging on. But we're beneath 15.1. I said if we are underneath 15.1, I do want to give up this SoFi breakout. You should not like a break when the market is reversing. Technically, it looked okay, but I'm giving this literally 3 cents. Usually I'd give it more room than that, but we just broke down, and I said if we're not holding on to 15.1, that this is not a breakout that I was going to hold on to. So I'll give it to the 820 and underneath. So we'll risk about 3 or 4 cents on it, but I don't think it's going to work here in SoFi. The short is going to be good, it looks like, for sure. By the way, Tesla is absolutely quadunking. Should have held on to that one. Gave it up at 61 when I saw size. It's at 57 last I checked.
Yeah, Prime gets me all excited here because the guy's hyping it up, but it's not really going down that much. We're going to stop acting too crazy here. Alibaba is, well, I mean, AMD, first of all, flushed. So that's the reason for that. Look at this move right here. AMD broke 50 and it just quadunked to the downside. That's not really a quadunk, but it's right into this area that we talked about again. We're waiting for 110 flats right now. Oh, we talked about drums or flats. Right. Oh, you weren't here that day, Neil.
Clearly not. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to go find out. So I put a poll out, drums or flats for wings, because we're talking about chicken dinner winners and everything like that. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to go find that poll.
Depends on the
How do I
sauce.
search for a poll? It depends on the sauce. Well, I didn't get into that. Okay, first of all, here we go. 544 votes. People still liking Team Elon right now. So
If it's a hot wing or really flavorful, flats.
yeah, that's the thing. I did not. I just want to say, there it is right here. Look how even this is. It's not that many votes. We kind of just did it
Flats
randomly.
for hot wings, but
Drums for just like barbecue, kind of grilled, like
yeah,
salt and pepper.
If it's super hot or flavor, I'm really a flats. You just get a little bit more of the flavor in there. It's just better.
But that's pretty close, man. I don't know. I mean, you can't get closer of a poll. Trust me, on that one.
That's
Like that's about as close as you can get. Unless you're voting in the United States for the president, like it always seems to be like 1 point.
Well, that's...
I want to count the ballots on this one right here. But yeah, I'm a flats guy. It doesn't really matter the sauce, but I'm down for that. So shout out to everybody as well. And Tom, if you're watching, I got your messages. I'm going to discuss. I didn't even look at them yet, so I will have. What? Did you just get? Brad, did you have a bid there? What just happened on AMD? I got 110.08. Yeah, sure you did. Wow, good move down there at 110. What? Is that even real? Well, it has to be real. I got to fill. What's going on with... Yeah, there it is on eSignal. Look at that. Wow. Sometimes you put out bids and you get them. Why did that flash crash there a little bit? Wow, okay. Wow, hey, I wish I had the whole order there. That's strange. That fill was exactly, 110.08. Wow. All right, can we... Yeah, no, we can't even see that on the time and sales. Wow, okay.
Got to have a bid out there. Sometimes it happens.
Where's the liquidity? AMD's going to flush.
With a liquidity vacuum, and if you got a bid, then you catch the fill, and it's waiting for a lit bid sometimes when the
They do that on
vacuum's in.
Bitcoin. On certain
no, that's
exchanges,
true.
Bitcoin will like rip up $500 and then come right back down. They're testing to see the algos and stuff like that. Look, John Riz, I just want to say one thing about the chat. We love you, my guy. Me and Neil are the Bonnie and Clyde, and we do appreciate that. But I've seen that like 400 times here in the afternoon. So don't spam too many things, but I do like the positive comments. So shout out to you, John Riz. I will acknowledge that, as I've done a couple times. Yeah, is it Rizla or Rizza? Right, Rizza. My bad. On that one. So I know the Rizza, the Jizza, YouGod.
Inspect the deck.
I thought YouGod was pretty underrated. I mean, I saw Method Man, Redman. I just saw Wu-Tang live last summer.
Redman is one of the most underrated.
I like Redman. I love the Redman for sure. I saw him with Method Man back in like the year 2000 or something at the docks or whatever. It was a crazy show. That was crazy.
Wow, the docks, that's taking it back.
Yeah, Wu-Tang forever. Throw up the dubs, man.
I just got a little greedy. Anyways, we'll see if it comes back in. But I just got greedy because I had bids and I pulled back on Palantir, and it looks like it just bounced shy of like 1 cent away, and then it starts to bounce. It's holding 14 like an absolute. It's just a line in the sand there. Apple might test VWAP. I think that's going to be a potential play. But Tesla, if Tesla reverses this, I mean, this was kind of where the move started on mass down at 56. and now you're all the way at 57. As I said, I'm not going to be happy with myself for having got out. There was size at 61. They stacked it up, got me out. It was a trending market at that point. The second it broke, it's been huadunk. But now you got a wick bottom here. Okay, Tesla, if you make one other push and show me that 57's got some buyers, that could be a play for you. Back into set upside. Some people like Nas up there. Oh, you said Nas.
Yeah. I
Meth
saw the
and
same
Red.
concert was Nas.
Yeah,
Nas was there.
Nas is on my top 10.
It was, yeah, easy. He's easy my top 10
Easily,
as
that's
well.
not even in question. Oddly enough, this is a bit weird. As I was about to complain about SoFi, it got under, did not print underneath 19, and is slowly grinding higher. So if this wants to buck the trend, fair enough. It's got a long way to go. I'm going to get some out in front of 830 and 835, and if the market can somehow catch a bid, maybe this continues going to the upside. It's only like a couple cents in the money, but quite frankly, I'm just surprised that it didn't break down with everything else at this point, because the market does seem like it wants to go into said downside. Did you just spin?
Yeah, I'm gonna run the slots. Oh, come on!
No, it's slots.
It's the
not
same
spin.
thing.
Oh, you can do both?
It's slot machine spin, like spin.
Okay.
Spin
I thought
the
you had to
slots.
type slots.
You can do both. I
never
never
would
ever get that. I'm trying to get that roulette going. There's a few different things you can do. I have no idea how many points I have. But look at this. Right now, we'll spend the money for this one because regardless of how many points I have on Streamlabs, which of course is fake, we're actually dealing with real capital here. Neil and I just trade equity. These are not options, but there are futures. I mean, you can see. I think Sharif might have been in the SPYs today, but you can trade NASDAQ futures, E-minis, anything like that, Bitcoin futures. We have everything here at Day Trade the World, so
do we have that?
except options. So just be careful if you're looking for options. That's not what we trade. But now there's also 0-day options. So if you are trading options, you could basically take our trade with us because we have to be flat at the end of every day. So it's like we're trading zero expiry options. Anyways, we have to be flat at the end of every.
Essentially the same thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's going to be big differences, obviously,
No, I
on
mean-
the premium side of things, and then, but honestly, ours are like ones and zeros as well, except for the fact is that if we have 100 shares of something, we can get out of like 20 at a time, and then
Right.
if you guys use options, you might buy one contract or,
And then
or
you
sell,
can't really
then
piece
it's one and done
a little
situation.
different.
So that would be the difference. Yeah, that's true.
But you're looking at the same type of price action and targets, like where you want the stock to go
Yeah.
to. Like, okay, well, if this area breaks, yada, 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 this is where I take profit. That's what you're always going to look for. This lower high that might get put in here, it's hilarious because I was just complaining about SoFi, and now that wants to work. And it's all of a sudden Coinbase, which was cruising, now is just sort of hanging out going sideways here. So as long as we're still trending to the downside, there isn't a reason to do much, but I will take some out in front of 61. I got a 33 short. That's essentially where I was short the first time. I don't want this breaking back up to the high of the day. I think given how it's not rolling over the way the market is, I stop it out at 50 instead of waiting for the high of the day. I think that's the little compromise there. So I've canceled my stop and I'm going to put a new one in. Just a little bit of a tighter stop. When you see this happening, where it's cruising down, Bitcoin's still holding in the pocket to the downside, the NASDAQ's rolling over, I want to give this less room because I don't feel like it's working the way the rest of the shorts are. Okay, so far, that's what you want to do. It's grinding higher. I should have added to this. I suppose I should have put a full position on because it reclaimed 820. I doubt we get a chance to get it again. This still has lots of room. Forget about $10. I'm just sort of talking about to yesterday's close at $8.49, and then the previous bottom was $8.35. Those are the two places I would expect this move to stop, or at least slow down. And Tesla, maybe there isn't a bid coming in. It's trying to hold down here, but it's starting to slow up a little bit. So if you're going to see a bounce in Tesla, it's either here, maybe 55. I mean, the absolute bottom, I don't think we see 52 again, but I suppose that's not impossible.
All right. I'm debating a stop on Meta because we are now almost $3 in the money on this trade, and okay, or not, just keeps on going to the downside. So I was just looking like that didn't scare me there, but we went up to 287 again, and I'm like, you know what? Like, why am I throwing away money? It's already gone to the downside. And the thing is, I just saw this note, brand new today, and another segment. What hits 52-week highs? Today, Apple, Meta, Royal Caribbean. Let's check out RCL.
CCL reports on Monday.
Yeah, it's a good point there. Royal Caribbean, $97? That's, wow. What? Have you seen the chart of Royal Caribbean? You know, scratch every other stock out of this. Look at this. This is up. This is, I mean, Tesla has a lot of green days in a row. Don't get me wrong. I mean, not recently, but Royal Caribbean from $60 back on May 1st. So that's a month and a half. That's like 30-something trading days. Royal Caribbean, wow. Okay, 52-week highs on board for that one. If CCL is reporting, honestly, I mean, obviously, when we're talking about this, CCL is going to have a pretty similar chart, I would imagine. I would say that off of this kind of a move, yeah, it's the same thing for CCL. Yeah. Actually, CCL's better. CCL's 850 to 1650. This is a smooth double right there for CCL. So this is what you call, when I look at this, like price for perfection. So you want to wait to see on this report, man. You may want to take a little bit off the table here if you're still in CCL against that report. So yeah,
it does have a short float.
Yeah.
12% short on CCL.
And they report like at 9 o'clock. Like it's one of those
it's
weird
before
things.
Market. It's you always be careful when you're trading CCL on earnings, because they'll have the report really close to the open, and then you get the earnings call, which is always a pain in the butt because that bleeds into the open. So you really have not a lot of time to digest things. So you want to have a plan of action going in. Oh, Palantir just broke 14. I think it could be headed to 14, 14.20. Hang a second. We were just kind of got distracted by CCL, but my stop was at Palantir 14 anyway. So it's broken 14. I saw in the chat someone was saying you should be looking at 14.14 to 14.20. Yeah, the lower high from yesterday, I see that. I was just working off the 14 even as well. A couple areas where we were short, should have maybe sniffed out a reverse into the long side. I'm going to get out of Coinbase because, quite frankly, that is not following the trend back into the downside anymore. I tighten up the stop so that we would get out. If it broke 61.50, not giving it to the high of the day, this could easily take out the top. But I need to see a reversal on Bitcoin. Maybe I should have been in Tesla. I didn't want to jump the gun on a long. But now all of a sudden 57 looks like it did hold after all. And I was looking for a little bit lower. 57 is holding. I'm oddly enough only in the Sofi breakout. I think the
long is back in.
The exact stock that I thought was going to stop me out and fail to break. And that's the only thing I'm still left in. All the other shorts have come out after breaking out the resistance.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. Amazon was a great stock today, by the way. I just saw people in the chat talking about that one. So the funny thing is, so anyways, my stop on Meta is now 286.75. So we take out 286.75. We're going to get out of that one. It was going to be 50, but I was just giving a little bit more room off the 21 period right now. You know, everything's downside right here. So it's been a great run for Meta. But like, I just feel silly if this market starts to rip back up and we at worst get like 287. I mean, that would be fine, but we've already taken that. Let's just take a piece out in here and then we won't feel so bad. I'm not going to feel bad about missing 286 because we could have just had that again. So I'm fine with that. I was hoping for a downside, even more downside on Meta, but that doesn't seem to be working out too well. But look what just came in and gave us a little bit more money. Okay. We'll take even more then. All right. Money.
Another one.
We'll just run the gamut there. All right, so yeah, that just came up to 70 again. I was like, you heard me say, what's going on with AMD? It just shot up from 30s up there to 70s again.
Oh, that was.
But this is not the right name. I keep saying that over and over again. So we're going to take profit. If it wants to drop down, fine. But it just ripped up against a market that did absolutely nothing. So when I see that, it's very, very, you know, the alarm bells go off. You should not be going up like that on nothing. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like who marketed this up 80, or who marketed this up 50 cents, right? Like that doesn't make any sense against that. So there are buyers here on AMD. If the buyers ever stop coming through, then you're going to look out below on this name. But for right now, they're here. It's a red stock, obviously, but not by much today. AMD's actually held out quite well right now. Micron, oh man. Again, on that AMD move up, I got psyched out of Micron. So this is what happens when you take a lot of shares. You can take a lot of outs. So now we're starting to make the move to the downside right now, breaking through 65 and looking for a little bit lower here on Micron.
Yeah, I definitely got wicked out there on coin. It broke 61.5 and then immediately came right back underneath. Bitcoin's not really doing anything. Nvidia just broke VWAP. 425 was a line in the sand, not really a line in the sand, was a consolidation, and then you saw it roll back over. If it cannot hang on We're beneath 14.1, sorry, 15.1 on the NASDAQ. I do think that NVIDIA, which is down 1.4%, if it can't hold on to VWAP, you are looking for a short underneath. Tesla, whoops, TSLA. Tesla did make that push, got into VWAP, kind of didn't hold 157 at first. Now it's trying to hold on to 57. Maybe we wait for it to break this consolidation. I think that's going to make a heck of a lot more sense there. If it's just going to dance around in here, either you scalp inside the range or wait for it to make a move. I do feel like something like an NVIDIA, which is already breaking down, you have a 25 level that it could take. I think if it gets underneath VWAP, you can take a 24 in a consolidation under, because there's room. 420 was the absolute bottom. If we are going to the low and we break this bottom, I can see NVIDIA really giving it up. I mean, there's a lot of names that have flown really high that I feel like should be trying to make a move back in the downside. I obviously have been thinking all afternoon that Coinbase is one of them. That goes without saying. NVIDIA fits in that pocket too.
All right, you know what? Speaking about NVIDIA, AMD, all that, I'm just going to get out of Intel, and there it is right now. We'll ring the register on Intel one more time there. We'll go a little bit of diamond hands because we were able to hold that. We got 33s at one point. Now we just take an 88 or whatever that 88 it was right there on the downside, because if I want to be short Micron and AMD, I don't really need to be long Intel. But why did we go long Intel? I mean, it had a pretty dramatic move upside today. So we're like, okay, Intel, you know, you're long, right? Then it came back in and gave us those pre-market levels again. So that's where we started to buy Intel down here against 50. And whenever you're buying long 50s, I think we're long at 58 right here. We're giving ourselves 8 cents worth of risk to make 70 or 60 right there. Well worth it, R to R, 4 to 5 to 1 on that one, so that's all good. And look what just happened, man. The gift that keeps on giving apparently right now is we'll try to go diamond hands this time. Look what AMD just did, guys. I mean, we were screaming, we were pounding the table. Literally, I was like, you know, we didn't want to interrupt, but we were like, what's going on with AMD? It ripped up to the upside right there. We got some out there because we're confused, as per usual, and then right back into this level again. So let's take some more out as we continue to, okay, here we go, man. Meta going down, Micron going down, Alibaba continuing its move. We're going to put a bid here at 84.75 for Alibaba to get a piece out. There goes Meta, now officially $3 in the money, breaking back down. Well, no, not really. Sorry, we're short at 288.80. So we're at $2.80 in the money. Hopefully this can continue its move now through 286. Meta, I still think next stop. I mean, we're going to wait to see. Here goes the market right now. We didn't break. We talked about this. We barely broke it by 15 handles. Now here comes 15,000 again on the NASDAQ. Let's see what happens with this one. We're all in shorts, baby. So
NVIDIA is now bleeding. Oh my goodness. Should have just punched it. I did get back in a coin, but that's whatever. It's back at 61, so we did get some out there. Had to jump back into that one after it wicked out, but it's really NVIDIA not catching that fill at the half. Maybe if it comes back to the upside. I think we could bounce off 15. If we bounce initially off 15,000 before taking it, then there should be an entry into the shorts. At this point, it's like 8 red candles in a row on the NASDAQ. I don't think I want to bet going long on the bounce. I think you want to use the 15,000 bounce to get into a short position that you couldn't get. Something like NVIDIA, which is absolutely flushing here. 420 would be that line in the sand. There's plenty of room for it to get there. What I like about this is you could break 15,000 downside and you haven't even taken the low on NVIDIA. So I want an opportunity to get into that one. There's a potential flat bottom break on Meta at 86. I know you're in that. That's worth watching. And as I said, coin right back. Get right back in. I think you can see VWAP. This has been the entry point for me pretty much all afternoon. I'm just looking for that VWAP. It has not taken out that high just yet, so I think we still have a bit of a chance. And then Tesla, that does not hold on to that 57 level. I guess we should just join the short party on Tesla or get back to the short party on Tesla. I'll be angry with myself, not for getting away from it, but not getting back in at 60. Don't want to make the same mistake here at 57. 52 is the low. You've got $4 to the low of the day. If the market tests 15,000, why wouldn't we at least take a shot at getting there? You have an hour left to go.
So I have a little bit of disappointment there. You were just talking about Meta breaking and it just ripped up. So we just got out there at 286.75.
Well, I said there was a potential flat bottom.
No, I mean, I was looking at it. It was right. Yeah. I was looking at it at 286. We had it up on the screen. We actually got a 276 fill there. So 270, 286.76. So we have basically no slippage on that. So it's a nice move there. And then honestly on AMD, I mean, you know, we took that profit too. I mean, right there and into the 20s again. I mean, this is what we're doing. So nice move downside there on AMD. Take a couple more fills right there as it's just bouncing off the 50 period here on the daily. Alibaba did not go all the way down, so we're getting out of everything. Meta, we're out. Let's check back in on Google. Google, another name that we have way too many fills on today, but it is starting to go back to the downside here again. 122 bouncing. Good level. And look at the futures again, bouncing off 15 there. So you can't see. I don't know where to put this. It's that thing at the bottom. We've never really been able to solve that because you miss so much of our. I mean, that's the solve right there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go to
Randy,
the other
but,
shot. That's the
you
best.
know, it's still hard to see everything.
It's
anyways,
the best solution.
But there's the bounce off 15,000 again. Thanks, Randy, for that one. But RCL 101 next week. Yeah, man. I mean, we talked about RCL already. Uber's at
Well,
VWAP?
if CCL beats, RCL probably doesn't have any trouble doing it.
$100. Wow.
I mean, it's at 98 going into CCL's earnings. So if CCL has good numbers, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be plausible. But yeah, it's going to be a sympathy play, I think. I think you just look out. Obviously, if it's a really bad print in terms of demand looking bad for CCL, maybe you pull a bit of a dip buy. But that's a trend. Like if you're short this name, or if you're long, if you're short this name, you're getting killed. If you're long this name on any kind of a swing, like where has been the reason to get out of it?
Right.
Like it hasn't even shaken anybody out. Like when a stock makes a move like this and isn't shaking anybody out, quite frankly, this is why it just continues to go. You've seen that with all the big tech names. Why is it any different with RCL? Why is the market slowing down and catching a bid? And as usual, there's a forever buyer at 61 on Coinbase. There's always a buyer at the even on coin. It just happens over and over and over again. It broke, and I thought we were headed down, but the buyers are stepping right back into this name. I'm starting to trim Sofi. It's 305, and this sucker just doesn't want to seem to do much of anything. So if it's just going to do this, sit inside 3, 4, 5 cent range, then I want less of it. I'm still holding more than half. I actually took out only a third here, and I got offers that are tighter up to the top. NVIDIA just came in there. So if I want to give this one into 424 and VWAP, I just got it at 60s. So I want to give it into VWAP here. If we continue the move down, I was waiting for a pop to challenge this lower channel. It's been stair-stepping down. So, you know, breaks higher, you try to get into something for a short. Didn't do it there, but try to get in something for a short there. So I'm using this off of 24 to get into the south side of NVIDIA.
I mean, I don't know, Nicole Harris. First of all, new position alert. We have Uber bouncing off VWAP right now. I know you have that nat gas. We'll talk about Boyle in a minute. There, Boyle is up 10%. You are right.
Wow.
Right now, as it's a double ETF. We'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, Uber off of that 43.30. Again, a strong name, up 1.27%. We're still short. We're short AMD. AMD's been a great trade. We've been taking some out. I just wonder if the market just wants to bounce back and forth a little bit right now. SpaceX tender offer at $150 billion already for that name. There's Uber with a nice little bump up. So we're long right now at 35. It's at 40. It's at 39.
So much.
It's just still right there. I don't want to take any out, obviously. If we get to 43, 44, then we'll take something out there on Uber. But I'm just going to call it up on my other screen, just get some offers out, see if we can get something to the upside on Uber. But that SpaceX tender offer, that doesn't seem like that much. 150 billion, maybe it's a lot. I have no idea what's going on. We know those other space companies don't have that tag. 43.
They're so far ahead of everybody
That's
else
the
in
thing,
terms
right?
of technology.
It's insane.
It's actually laughable how far ahead SpaceX is.
So there's Uber. So now Uber's 6 cents in the money. Okay, so here's Boyle. The Boyle ETF is on Amex, I believe. BOIL. Bail. Yeah, you should bail on it. That's for sure. I don't know. Boyle right there. It's been. Oh yeah, our charts will be a nightmare. They just recently reverse split. So just today. So Nicole Harris, to me, that's why this is moving. I didn't realize they just reverse split today. But this is a nightmare. This is
a few
an
ETFs
absolute.
did.
Oh, did they? A few ETFs did?
Even the UVXY.
Why can't I pull this down? I mean, look at this. So I don't know how else to show you this, but Boyle, $2,600. This is, again, nat gas. If you guys can see anything to do with nat gas and what's been happening with that, and when you're in an ETF, there's a lot of danger with this. So there's Boyle. You can't even, because it was just reverse split, like that went from $2,600 down to $45. So, you know, there's that. And now today it's bumping up again. It's going to just look ridiculous.
You know what you can do?
Even on these charts, I can't really do anything with
even on
it.
trade ideas.
But I would just say you have a better look on trade ideas.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's just, so I can't really look at a chart too much of that. But if you look at Nat Gas, that should be on our, if I just type in Nat Gas, Nat Gas.
I got it.
You have it? Okay, he has the...
NG, it's Q23, I think, so...
All right, Neil has it up there, so you... Or almost.
There we go.
So there's the future.
But it just, yeah, I mean, it's... You can say it's bouncing, but when when natural gas trends, it really trends. So, yes, it looks like it's making a bit of a bottom, but it's done that trick before. And then all of a sudden you're getting Huadunked. I'm in Tellurian, so I'm kind of happy if this thing bounces, because that's kind of holding that dollar breakout that it's putting in. So maybe this is a channel break finally, and it gets above 3. I don't know. As I said, my play is, I have a shot play in Tell just above $1. Sometimes it goes back to like penny stock trading days. One of my favorite entries or way to get into one of these kinds of things, if you're waiting to take a shot, okay, well, it breaks $1, spends all of less than 1 day, and then the next day opens up higher. Easy long. Take a shot, give it to the low, and see what happens. The mistake I made, and I said this live at the first, obviously I should have taken a bunch out and then played with house money, but I just held on to the whole thing. I was kind of like, it's going to go to $2, or I'm not going to take anything out until it doubles up. That was just stupidity, because when it starts turning at $1.70, you should be more than happy to take some profit and let the rest ride. I did not. That's on me.
I mean, yeah, I only go short, right? Look at Uber right now. I mean, it's just like, that's why you hit this, man. This is time to stack up some cash here today. There's Uber. We just gave this one to you right there. So there it is right there, 43. We're long right now at 43.35. So boom, just goes up to 50 right there. So again, you want R to R? Okay, that was 5 cents worth of risk to make right now 15. So that's good. 3 to 1 in 4 minutes. So pretty happy with that. We'll wait to see where it goes now. As there it is, man. I said wrong stock. AMD right back up. So nice move there. I'm not going to reshort this. If AMD wants to take out the top, it takes out the top. I don't have any more plays on this name whatsoever. I lie. I'll take a 90 against the 111. But other than that, we are well out of this name now. Yeah, I'm not looking the gift horses in the mouth on this one. This has been a very, very violent name today. It's actually been really bothering me because it's not smooth. This is not the Michael Jackson smooth criminal that we want it to be. So today it's been pretty choppy back and forth here. So I could have just shorted there again, and now we'd be in the money even more, and I'd be like, wow, that was a great trade. But, you know, it would have been a great trade. We didn't short that. That was 75. It just came in again. But anyways, I'm going to wait for 90s and then give it to 111. If it breaks, then that's that. We got out of only half of our Uber, so let's get out of a little bit more.
Yeah, NVIDIA actually managed to hold VWAP there as the market bounced, but Apple bounced off VWAP. That should have, you know, that looks like a decent long. I guess it didn't get down to 186. Those even dollars had been good here. I suppose a bit too patient waiting for the evens. If it gets back up to 87, that's obviously been a big level. Apple could go green to red, so red to green, and then back green to red several times here today, but I think 187 is a line in the sand. That and VWAP we're going to have to take out. NVIDIA, kind of frustrating. I had a chance to get this out and some in front of 423 and rolled right back in the money. Now it wants to take out that local high. It made a run to VWAP and pull back. So I would normally give it to VWAP and above. As I said, it made a break of the local high and then put in a higher low. That's not a time to hang on to it. That's a time to realize, hey, that little consolidation there, if it gets to VWAP, it's going to run, so I don't reload the trade. Should have taken some out the first time. This is now looking like a bit of a curl. You always like to make a decision at a decision point, so I do defend the entry point there. If we're going to roll over, there's plenty of risk to reward to the downside, but I don't want to give up more than 40, 50 cents with running out of time on the day. So it looks like the market wants to get back into the upside. I think you've got maybe Meta, definitely Apple that look pretty strong here in the afternoon. Somehow SoFi is still holding the breakout, but it's not going anywhere. So maybe this is one for next week. I don't know. It's a strong rebound play, but when it took out the high, it's essentially just sitting here, even with the market going. Kind of a nothing burger, bit of a disappointment. Amazon is starting to get going as well.
Oh, shoot, did I miss this?
The thing about Amazon is this is weak, but the morning low just held really nicely at 129. So the fact that it made that bottom is pretty good for a bit of a base of operations to get back to the upside. I guess they don't really want that quadrunk after all. Damn it, Apple, this is the one I should have been back over into.
They don't want that smoke.
Huh?
They don't want that quadrunk.
Oh,
Like,
well,
no,
yeah,
they don't
nobody
that
wants
smoke.
that
No one
smoke.
wants that smoke. So we did take out some more Uber. We talked about that. It's not really doing anything. I wanted to say something here. They said that was very responsible of you, Sean. I don't know what that, right here. What's up to huge reaction? You're a member, so that's nice. Very responsible. I don't know what that means, taking some money out of Uber maybe. Well, we did that anyways, and like I said, we have to be flat at the end of every day. Uber's been a good position for me in my long-term account. We actually bought it at $30 right before the earnings report, so that was a good trade for us. It's only $3.15 right now. I'm pretty exhausted heading into the weekend. It should be a good weekend for sure. Looks like it's going to be a rainy one around here. I don't know if it started to rain
That's kind of
yet,
frustrating.
yeah, it should be a good weekend around here. The Jays are back in town. You go into the game. I think
They're playing Oakland, who's
Right.
that's a AAA team.
You mean Las Vegas? Oh, so Manoa's pitching, or?
They
said
haven't named who's starting tomorrow. There's been speculation they could call Manoa back up. For the
No,
pitch.
that was a joke. I thought.
But what's interesting about that is Oakland's so bad that if you were trying to get him right, throw him against the worst team in baseball.
But then what if he gets rocked? Then the guy might as well retire. Yeah, I don't think you want to do that.
Well, I don't know if you were going to take a shot at it, but Oakland's terrible. They're tanking and they're moving the team to Vegas. It kind of reminds me of what's going on in Oakland. It reminds me of the movie Major League. They build the worst team possible.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Only in Major League the team ended up winning. Let's go to Brendan.
Oh, they're not Wild Thing. Are we going to Brendan?
Yeah. Oh, you said.
Right.
I thought you said going to Brendan, Rob. Okay. I can't understand what
Come
you're
on,
saying.
Neil.
I just hear noise in my ear. I'm like, oh, we're going to Brendan at the desk.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah, Rob. Yeah, it's your Canadian accent that we can't understand.
You got to enunciate,
I mean,
Rob.
people. I don't know. Do we have accents? I mean, we keep on putting this in the.
Apparently, we say a boot. A boot.
That's BS.
What's that all about?
That BS. That a boot stuff is BS.
I say about.
I've never heard anybody say a boot before.
Oh,
The only a boot I get is when I'm kicking someone in the, booting them. But yeah, no, I don't know. Everyone has an accent. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I ran into a couple
We're talking about
from-
Canadian accent.
I ran into a couple from Boston in Paris.
Wow, that's
And
Boston.
if you're not that you'd be watching.
I love
Peggy,
that Boston accent,
But
actually.
she's like, why does everyone immediately know that we're American?
What?
I'm like, you have easily the most distinct accent in the United States. Is
Yeah,
a Boston
New York,
accent.
Brooklyn, there's...
Well,
yeah.
I think a Boston accent
So,
is
I mean, yes,
Massachusetts
yes,
is
yes.
out of control.
Well,
but she
like
was
the
like,
down south slang and stuff like that, too. I don't know. There's
but
a
she
lot
was
of-
saying wicked every 5 letters. It was exactly like if I was watching a Wahlberg movie. Wicked
Okay.
this, wicked that.
Yeah,
It was hilarious.
It's like you're watching
They're
Goodwill Hunting
fantastic,
all of
by
a
the
sudden
way.
again here.
They were a really great couple. It was their second time going. They had gone backpacking when they were kids. So they had gone like the whole like backpacking when they're in their 20s and early on, and they were coming back like I don't know, it was like 40 or 50 years
Yeah.
later. And they're now retired, going back and doing Paris again. I'm like, that is the greatest thing ever. I hope when I'm their age that we're doing fun stuff like that. And they're doing it proper.
Why
like they're-
wouldn't you be doing fun stuff like that? Like, how old were they?
I don't know
It's
exactly.
not that old.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know how old they were. I'm just saying. Like, and they were
mean-
doing all the walking. Like, they're not sitting around taking Ubers and stuff. Like, I just want to be active like that.
Yeah,
when I'm at
of
that
course,
age.
of course, of course.
what it
Yeah,
is.
we'll be very active.
I hope so.
Still, yeah, why not? Well, I mean, anything can happen.
Because Father Time is undefeated.
God willing, God willing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the big thing.
That's the
about
big
that.
thing. I hate Coinbase, and it keeps bouncing off 61. This is making higher lows, and I keep shorting the same level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Call it 6. Look at all the higher lows this is putting in. So even though you can get something out of it, it's like pulling blood from a stone at this point in Coinbase. So slap me if I take this one short even one more time. It's just getting a little ridiculous with this one.
This Matt says that I'm the one that says a boot all the time. What? Send me then just honestly, Matt. I believe you, but this is YouTube, so everything is online. So we could
I
go
don't
back
think
and
you say that,
find.
but-
No, I just want to hear myself say it. That's all. So I want you to go back, find me saying it in a natural conversation, and send it to me. That's all. I
don't think
believe
so.
you. I just want to hear because I guess when something happens so naturally, like I don't know. I don't think I ever say that. So
No, you know what?
yeah. Well, I
Well,
mean,
first of all, I say
it is
Z
J-
all the time.
It is JZ.
I
So
say
you
I
gotta-
say Z.
Of course, everyone says Z.
We all say Z because that's how the rhyme goes.
Come on.
Right?
It's not J. I mean, I just go back over
JZ.
to JZ. I
20
mean, if it was JZ, it would be JZ. So it's
Saskatchewan says, say roof and watch the chat go off. Roof?
Roof. Or someone said say the word loud.
Loud?
How else are you supposed to say that?
How are we saying it wrong? I don't understand. Now I'm just confused.
That's what it is. I don't feel insulted.
Roof.
I don't feel anything about it. I already said I think accents are really cool. I love accents, and I'm glad to have one, I guess. I just
Okay.
Why are they all?
This is
it's
apparently-
because they want to say roof.
Roof?
Roof. Some people say roof.
Oh yeah, my in-laws say
It's like
roof.
when I just joke around, I say Adidas.
No, my in-laws say roof.
Roof. Yeah.
100% they say it. 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not an. Is that an accent or just a different way of pronouncing something?
No, I think
you know what I
it's-
mean. That's not an accent.
It is an accent. Well, it is
No,
an
it's
accent.
not. It's a different
It
way
is.
of
It's like a local. It is an accent. Technically, that's an accent.
What?
It
Pronouncing
is.
a word a different way? I don't know.
Yeah,
Ketchup?
because you.
Ketchup?
No, they're like Northern Ontario. So like people that are Northern Ontario, they'll say roof a lot. I think. But anyways, we don't.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
They do.
I'm just saying. I don't know if that's an. Yeah. Anyways, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Now
It's
we're
like a
we're losing our way
regional-
here.
I
Okay.
did. By the way, just Tesla just came up to 57.
Yeah. I mean, right now we're 21 cents in the money, 4 times risk to reward on this one trade Uber. So yeah, man, we get a couple. Let's take an Uber home tonight. Maybe we'll be drinking more with you, Brad. We just had this right there. Boom. How about that? How about that? Right there, off VWAP, beautiful move. This ain't an anchor VWAP, so shout out to my friend Brian Shannon, who's already commented on the sticky note, so he likes it. Maybe we'll keep it, but right there's a VWAP trade. We found this one for you. About as clear as day, comes back in. It's a strong stock, pulls back into VWAP. We like that. We like the long right there. Let's take it out. We just took it out at the 50 period. Sorry, that's the 200 period right there at 54. So if we continue to climb, great. But for right now, we're just going to watch out for that Uber, and we're out of like 70% of it already. Oh, that's probably too many shares, but that's okay. We didn't expect that to hit. So we got some out at 50, then we got some out at 55 there, or 54 there, ahead of that 55, and now we look for this. I'm gonna put an offer at 60, get out a little bit more, and then watch from there. I actually had another bid at 31s in case it did fill down there, but that did not happen. So we take that fill. We got double there's 2 fills down there actually. You can see double the fill. So we take 2 fills at 35. Nice upside move there for Uber. Do we just get stopped out of something? Oh, Micron, yes. So the last piece out, Micron, there it is right there. Destroyed again for me today. Actually, Micron net is my top stock today. I don't know how that happened exactly, but it did. Micron short there, and the cash has been flowing on Micron, who reports
Next week.
What day?
Thursday.
Are we back on the next cycle here? Because I'm surprised.
No, not yet. We're still rounding out all the
Micron-
last ones. Mike, I want to say it's
Why didn't we
mid
already
next
know
week.
Micron's report? No, it is next week. I know.
It is next week. I know it's next
But I'm
week.
going to find out what quarter this is because Micron. I feel like they kicked it off, but I don't. It's strange. Anyways, June 28th, right there for Micron. So yeah, it is next week. It's next Wednesday or whatever.
Brendan, is there a reason Activision's moving a little bit here?
Well, I
volume
mean, it would be the
spike.
Microsoft news, right?
Yeah, like it just
Volume
kind
spike which
it's
way?
not that much. It's up like 50 cents, but it looks bigger than it is because the range is so tight, I suppose. Yeah, well, if there's something there on ATVI, I will let you guys know. Ramble on. I do not watch Letterkenny. I thought that was. I didn't watch the show. I thought when it was like a shorts, I thought they were hilarious, and I never really got into the show. I think sometimes too much of something isn't necessarily great. Like it's all started out as these little tiny little couple of minute long shorts, and which are hilarious. And as a full show, I just never really believed in it. I'm sure it's hilarious. Those guys are pretty jokes. I got Tesla. I kind of a couple times said that 57. It came in, broke the 3 quarters. I got 77s. Now it's trying to head back into the downside. If we are going to trend down, it's a stair-step trade. Give me a break. Now there's a refresher at 50. All right. Let's try to respect the fact that there's a refresher there. Next time it breaks, I'm going to try to get something out there. So Tesla, we're into the sell side there. Meta's actually breaking to that 86 level. Oh my goodness, I should have put a stop in. Yeah, that's Meta starting to break down. Flat bottom break. I still have Coinbase and Tesla. Maybe not a need to add a third short position at 323. It is, we actually didn't mention this in the morning. It's a Russell Russell rebalancing today. So you might see some small cap names on the imbalance locator today. Probably not going to affect that early look or anything because it is the small caps. But if you see a few things with some millions on them and they're names that you don't recognize, it's because possibly that Russell rebalance. Just getting that one out of the way. So Tesla did get that fill eventually. If we get back down into the low, I'm thinking 255, where turn before would be the exit for Tesla. I should just get out in front of 61 again on Coinbase because this stock is... Now it's just not even moving. When it turns, it's not even flushing all that much. I'm going to get a bid in front of 61. Give up the ghost there. Bitcoin has stopped moving as well. I just want to double check and make sure it is still going absolutely sideways at like 3,900, I should say.
So you know it's a slow day. I was just looking over our work chat. Okay, normally Brendan's dropping news in there. We're having, we're just talking about
still
things.
The picture.
So like 5 messages ago, it was Rob asking us if we needed a coffee. That was at 10:30. Then it's followed by, I'm good, thanks. Brendan says all good. Rob says, I heard it because I did it in caps, and I said my bad in caps. Then Randy at 12 o'clock goes NIO. Then Randy at 12:51 goes C3AI. Then Randy at 1:20 puts the picture of Getty Lee and all them in there. Nothing since, like nothing.
Not
so
a
there's
single message.
absolutely zero stock market talk in our stock market chat.
The volume is pretty low today.
So
overall.
I'm just telling you that it's not like normally if there's breaking story, like Brendan will just quickly put it in there so it gets our attention and so on and so forth.
Like ATV.
But that's just like there's nothing right now. Or even you ask in the chat like anything going on with this, and then he gets back to us, and then
I actually should have typed that in for ATVI just now.
but
and
it's
I
just,
didn't.
I'm just saying that that's just how quiet it is right now. So I think we've done well to pick, we have done well to pick some good stocks out for you guys here today. I mean, we're going to be positive on this day. Obviously, Alibaba is just kind of waiting around 85. It's not doing much. Still waiting to get out. If this breaks through 85, we will get out. I thought I had another short waiting here, but I don't. So I don't know. It's kind of just cruising up. I mean, we could take a short here. Let's try it. I mean, our Uber's been doing fine. Let's just try to get oops, okay, well, we just put a 92 and it just hit us. So we'll try that, and then we'll put a little bit more at 95, but just small, just to see if we retrace back down here on Alibaba. It's red on the day. The imbalances are going to come. You mentioned the, oh, wow, okay, maybe we get stopped out, but there's Uber right now.
Money.
So Uber, I haven't hit this at all. People, I don't know if people like it or not, but we haven't done this at all today.
Another one.
But we're going to do it now because
Another
it is another one. This Uber trade is another one. Another victory there for us here today on Uber as we just put that on, and there it goes. Nice move back up to the upside there for Uber. So, yeah, that's another one. That's for sure. Alibaba, nothing. So that's something that we're going to talk about. And then AMD, I'm not reloading this at all until 90. So hopefully that can come up here. Fill us. It looks like it wants to do it right now, and then we'll try to pull this down for AMD. But other than that, man, it's just, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to having a beer with my guy Pratt over there. We'll do that at the after, and then you'll probably do it one day next week.
Yeah, well, you know what? The good thing about it is it gives us the opportunity to maybe go over some things. And I just thought about this because there was a question in the chat. It was 37Y was the name, and he's asked a couple of times. He's dealing
Probably
with
at office.
Yeah, well, that's what I think it is. Because I think he's a day trade, the world trader who has a bit of a hit, and he's like, well, how do I battle out of it? I'm like, that's a really long answer that requires a little bit more detail. Like, what exactly? Like, what are you trading? What's your risk loss limit? Like, give us a little bit more background. Generally speaking, the short answer. Sorry, I'm just looking at ATVI here. It has nothing to do with the charts in general. But generally, the answer I usually give to people is, okay, well, if you're putting risk on, it probably means that if you're putting live risk on, it should mean that something got you to that point, right? So, okay, what were you making money on in TMS? What were you making money paper trading on? Like, what were you consistently doing that made you go positive and that made you decide to go live? And whatever that is, take the most basic example of that and go back to that, right? So if it was, I'm just gonna make something up, if it was taking gap up and breakouts or just some very simplistic strategies, go back to only doing that for a little bit. You don't have to always go back into like simulation or anything, but go back to basics. Go back to square one. Do not fight over things that never got you positive in the first place. So that's the short answer, but I don't know any details to be able to give you a better answer than that. It's an easy thing to say. It's not always an easy thing to do. That's why you want to make sure you're separating different strategies. Yeah, you can be doing scalp trading off of consolidations. Like, that's one thing. You can be doing support and resistance. Like, if you're doing support and resistance levels and only taking big trades at said levels, an example of that would be, okay, well, Apple 185 support and resistance trade, didn't do enough with it, but that's one trade. Maybe if this is broken down, you're taking a breakdown trade through a level like that. Those are two separate ideas. Whether you're red or green on Apple, that tells you one side of the story. It doesn't tell you everything, because you could have two separate styles of trade on the same stock. So you want to compartmentalize those, make sure you're recording them, and know where your P&L is actually coming from. Now I've given a bit of a longer-winded answer. So understand the breakdown of where you were positive in the first place. And if you don't know that, then maybe you should go back into simulation and figure that part out. Like, what was it that you were making money on, and just try to do more of that, or only that. To begin, I just took out Tesla. That means it got down to 255. So the same trade that did not work on NVIDIA, this is it not working on NVIDIA, ends up working out on Tesla, 57, in front of 57, scalps them out inside the range, and then get out in front of 255. It's about to tick 330. We're going to get the early look on the imbalances in about 1 or 2 seconds here. So we'll let you know what that is. Not expecting fireworks. If there are imbalances, my guess is they're going to be on some small caps.
Yep, I would think that would be right. And yeah, I mean, that's great advice there. I used to do that. Talk to all brand new offices here at Day Trade the World before we did the show. So definitely.
So do you see what Brendan just put here?
No.
$2 billion to sell.
Yeah, well, there is that rebalance.
Okay.
Today.
All right. I mean,
but remember, I wasn't here last Friday, and it was the S&P rebalance.
Yeah.
And it was only like 100 million. Like, it was like, remember we were looking at it was 144
and then
million
it came out 1.2. So this is looking like it's going to be bigger. We'll see. That's not what I was expecting. I thought the early look would be small, like it always is. I might just get out of coinbase thing. Now it's literally not even moving. What is Tesla doing? Is it still going down? No, it's bouncing off that 55 level. So if it gets back up to 57, maybe I just reload and rinse and repeat this trade here on Tesla. Way too much of a gap between the first short and the last short that we just had in Tesla. Let's just sit out $5 next time, or $4. You never want to be doing that. When the stock drops like $9, you want to have a little bit more of it than just those two shots at the top and the bottom.
Shot.
But if we get back to 57, that's the reload spot, not actual shots.
Everybody.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, of course I know what you meant. Yeah, no shots yet. It's not 4
o'clock
yet. I do not advise drinking and trading at the same time. We've done it on the show before, just to have a casual beer, but don't get... because then your mind gets clouded, and this job is the hardest job in the world. And if you're trying to do it while
no liquid lunches,
intoxicated, no liquid lunches. So we're gonna do that for sure. But stay sane of mind. That is for sure. It's wine o'clock somewhere, as they say.
It is true.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. Right there, we got some out at 60. I mean, if I knew this was going to happen, man, we would have just put the Lambo trade on here. But I did not think that Uber was going to make this kind of a move back up, but it did. And there it is, man. Nice outs for me on Uber as it just climbs back up, taking some profit as we go on that name. We just did get something out a little bit. Move this over. We said we would wait for AMD, so there's the 90, there's the 80, so that's a dime. Well, we need a lot more, man. We need a lot more than this. Let's see if this pulls back in. I mean, honestly, if we get 65s or something on AMD, then we'll be happy for that. So I think it's going to break higher. So let's just hope we're lucky enough that those imbalances can come out to the sell side. But this is going to break before then. Imbalances are still 18 minutes away. It's only 332.48.
We got
49, 50, 332.52 here in Toronto. So if you are watching us, you could see it. I mean, Randy, I did say this is the hardest job in the world. I mean, I believe that honestly, as a day trader, I don't. It depends. Obviously, we're not talking about physically or anything like that. There's many other hard jobs. I mean, it might not be the hardest job in the world. I'm not trying to insult anybody.
It's not brain surgery.
But I'm talking about making money. Brain surgery, I'll tell you what you could do about brain surgery. Someone could teach you how to become a brain surgeon. Okay, we have brain surgeon friends. I'm for sure positive, Neil, that you can become a brain surgeon.
No chance.
Why not? You don't have the hands, maybe.
No, 100% don't have the hands.
Right, well, that's why robots do it. But yeah, I do agree with you.
100% don't have the hands.
But what I'm saying is that there's education about all of this, right? People write books because sometimes they can't trade. People hard to sit there and trade. You guys know that. Don't cop. I don't want to be a police officer. That is a crazy risk. And I want to say shout out to everybody.
That's different.
I'm talking about learning the trade, learning how to trade. Because one day something's different. You know how to fix a car? That's amazing. I want my
that's a
kids
skill.
to be
That's
mechanics.
a skill that okay, fine. You will things change with vehicles too, but the shelf life on your knowledge of being able to last, that's pretty long if you have a skilled trade. I mean, it's true. It's true. When you trade for 20 years, you go through these. I look at things every
look
single.
behind us.
I look every quarter. Like to me, after a while, you just start to judge. Okay, well, what's changing in the last 3 months? In the last year, from trading one thing to another, like how even just trading memes 3 years ago, it's so vastly different.
Yeah.
The style of trade. Like if you were watching this show every single day in 2020 was what small cap stock are we trading today? And that was it. And quite frankly, that's where all the profitability was. Like that's where the best trades were. Things like DWAC and things like AMC and all that stuff. That was great. And times change, you move on. And some of that comes back, some of that doesn't. I will say this much. I have to say this to myself because yesterday I left you. I said that UP stock that was tanking. I just remembered this because we were talking about meme stocks and penny stocks. And I made a note. I wrote down on my iPad. I'm staring at it. It says up $1. UP $1. After it Hua-dunked yesterday. Let's see it try to bounce off a buck. What happened today? It glides to the downside. It holds at 101 and then gives you a nice, I mean, if it goes to VWAP and you get 10% fine, actually got up to like 117. That's the kind of low-hanging fruit you don't want to miss out on. When I look back, it's like, well, if I was looking for that trade in the afternoon yesterday, took the time to write it down, but not to actually be ready for it when it got down there, it's done a few million shares of volume. You could definitely get into this one, no problem. But that's the kind of setup that's been there. There's so many depressed names that are getting to $1 that the dollar trade, if the risk to reward is so great on that trade when you get it, that you should be taking it like left, right, and center. Nikola was an example of that recently. So I'm kind of pissed off myself for not getting to up. There was a lot to look at this morning that distracted me. But yeah, I should have had this one. Like you're probably long at 02s, maybe 03s at worst, with a stop through $1, and it never really threatened against you. That's just an example.
All right. Someone asking me where the out is on AMD, but right now, man, we are riding the bear on this one, and there's a couple good outs for us, again, on AMD as it continues to go to the downside right now. So this name is starting to break lower. There's the short at 90. Look at this. So this is, today's been a really, really great day. Obviously, it's Friday, so that's been fun, first of all. And thank you to everybody for watching today. It's been a great day. A lot of great talk there, especially on the midday show, and especially what we've just been talking about right now as well. So shout out to everybody there that's in the chat, grinding with us every single day. All right, so. Baba gave me a little bit of a fill, but let's see if that one wants to still pour down a little bit right now. We are almost out of everything. We have less than 10% left of Uber because we got our target. So when that hit right there, we got out pretty much of everything on Uber. Again, not really afraid of that imbalance, but definitely trying to pay attention to it. It is a sell imbalance from Brendan. So let's just keep on going to the downside. We do have some bids in the 80s here. VWAP's at 87, at 88, so I have actually an 87 bid right now, and hopefully we can get down into here and then even lower than that right now. But after that, man, we don't have too much to do, and I feel like sitting on our hands right now. We can look at some more.
Bitcoin's rolling over.
I was going to say, is there any names that anybody wants us to look at here? Sofi, someone mentioning there in the chat. We like this name because it's pretty popular for everybody. And again, yeah, started making some new, every low was bought until now, which is the last time it's broken back down. 822 right there as the break to the downside. And that's where we are right now. So yeah, if you want to short this, you got my blessing for that one. 827 as the high of the day. But again, look at this. The future is just hovering around VWAP right now. So no matter what happens today, this is where we opened. Look where we opened. Right here. So this is, you can't, can we go to full screen maybe? I can show the volume here. So this is the opening candle right here, right? This is where we opened. So right into this area. Look where we are. So that's 15,056. Put that line right there. This is where we are right now. 73. So what goes up comes down. At the end of the day, we're hovering around VWAP again anyways. So let's wait to see. Gave the bears something to cheer about. Gave the bulls something to cheer about. Bears back in. And now I would rather be barbecuing and just waiting for something to happen. So we've got good names on. We're 21 cents in the money on Uber, and we're waiting for Bob and AMD to do something. So yeah, we'll just hold on, man. We got 20 more minutes.
Yeah, 20 more minutes. Bitcoin just broke support this afternoon, 3,800, I should say. Got down a couple of hundred points and started to catch a little bit of a bid. So if it does make another low, I do think you could have a quad dunk. Not a quad dunk, but definitely a flush at least into the end of the day there. I think there's some time for it to continue to get out. I did add to I had just taken out some Coinbase on that flush because I was sitting on the bid in front of 61. When I saw that happen, I was already on the bid, and then it broke underneath. I added to the short underneath 61 there. So it's overlapping because it's a 3-minute chart, but that actually happened about a minute apart there. So break to the downside. I got some filled and then added on the way back in. That break on Sofi essentially got all the way to like 826, not very far. I gave it to under break even. I tightened the stop up, just got out there when it broke underneath break even. So it tried to make that break out of the high at 820. Obviously no dice. This could be something for next week. It has a wipeout bottom. If it does this and manages to hold on to 8, I think you'd be looking for longs off that level again. 835 can be a resistance as well. So not much of a breakout there this afternoon, but at least it held some relative strength throughout the afternoon. I think you can look at that for next week. Going to be back into Coinbase after I see that roll over in Bitcoin. Mehdi's asking about C3 AI. Okay. That's a name we have not talked a lot about today. I had one trade, well, a couple of trades off one level in C3 AI. I had the long this morning. If you're watching the morning show, it got to 10% down and made a bounce. We like to call it the SSR bounce. So it gets 10% to the downside, then starts showing strength. So I got it long at 34 into VWAP, and then it just gave it up. I didn't reverse into the short. Oddly enough, exactly when I got out would have been the perfect entry for a short trade. So down 12%, could not hold on to the gains. If you look at the last time this was down here, just sort of think of it this way. 20 was a monster level, then it held a 200 period after the short seller report. It just made a run up to the highs off the $30 level, which held for 3 days. So, but the only thing I'm concerned with for AI on the way back in is 30 and the moving averages. The way that it broke away from the 50 and hugged the 50, broke from the 200 period moving averages, and then treated the $30 level and the $20 level. That's it. Those are the only trades I want. If it bounces off that, I think you can have a long off 30. I wouldn't automatically take it. I look at the 50 period moving average on the daily and see if it can bounce there as well. It's in a downward trend. You better be pretty convinced that you want to get into the long the way this is pulling back. But there's been fantastic longs on the way back in if you've been willing to let it bounce first and then look for the trade.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag my guy over here, Brian Shannon, on this VWAP trade because we got, we're almost out of everything here on Uber. It was a good trade for us to watch out for. So now that it's falling back down, we're out of it, right? We have 5% left. We're gonna wait to see what happens right now. But look what's happening. Here comes Alibaba again, another one coming in for us right now. We talked about staying short, playing it off of some of these key levels. So there's Alibaba for you. I'm just running out of gas right now. It's 342. I mean, not looking at too many names right here. I'm just trying to get out of some of the positions that we're currently in. So Alibaba downside, 11 cents now in the money, and we'll see what happens with AMD. It's flat on the day. Maybe if that is a big sell imbalance, no change. Brendan just gave it to us. So $2 billion to sell. It's the MSCI rebalancing happening today at the close. So isn't it?
No, it's Russell.
Russell, sorry.
Russell.
Does
it matter, Brad?
No,
one or the other?
It
Russell
doesn't matter
MSCI,
at all. If the biggest one, S&P last week was sort of a yawn. I don't expect much today, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know.
Pan W was a big ad, and
Never
it didn't
know.
really do much movement. Actually, the trade on Pan W ended up just being
It was 12 cents. Well, yeah, I messaged you about it.
making the trade, not trading the close.
Right.
If that's the only, that's the way to think about it. Like the actual trade on Palo Alto running into this is, where is it on that Friday? No, it is what it is. Actually, Palo Alto, oddly enough, scratch all that. Palo Alto has a 250 high from yesterday. Let's think about that for next week. Forget about going to the past. Let's talk about the future, because way more interesting. Palo Alto just rejected 250 yesterday and has a chance to maybe make that break or retest on Monday. That's worth a look. A 250 level, that was probably, you couldn't have had it today. Looks like 48.5 was that local high. But Palo Alto rejecting 250 is definitely worth a look next week. If it gets through that, all systems go. It's had some good breakouts in the past. I think you could see that again. What's Tesla doing? Please tell me it's okay, good. Yeah, there's nothing, I don't know if I see anything else in Tesla till 350. If we get it is a sell imbalance right now of 2 billion, so maybe there's a rollover from 55 back into the low. I was waiting for it to get back up to 57 to just rinse and repeat that last trade. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You don't have to force it with about 15 minutes to go. It either sets up or it doesn't. I don't want to enter at the low of the day. The NASDAQ's actually bouncing a little bit here. Ahmed saying how you get free shorts. Here at Day Trade the World, it's a day trading firm. So most symbols are free locates for us. I'd say like 90-something% of all symbols in the North American market. And if they're not available, then we can ask the broker for pay for locates.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so basically it's a system that we have in the back end. It's called Metro. You put a request in. It's either available or not. It quotes you a price. You accept it or you don't accept it. Then you can short that amount of shares, however many times you want, up to that amount for the rest of that day. And once you're charged for it, that's it. Whether you actually go short or not, you just pay for the opportunity to get those locates. So generally speaking, you don't want to pay for the short unless you really think there's a trade there for you. An example of a name like that would be some small cap runner that has no liquidity. Used to be actually things like Rivian and Lucid, but now we have those for free, generally speaking.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Someone sent me some
Teledoc?
wine. Yo, what's up to wine? Veblen wine. What's up, Veblen wine? Thank you so. What, you know Veblen wine?
No, I was about to say I love wine.
Oh, I love wine. Yeah, we need to be sponsored by some wine. That's for sure. Okay. Yeah, again, Uber's going up. Now we're 30 cents in the money off 5 cents risk, so that's 6-1 RDR. Let's look at PayPal. PayPal's been one that's been moving around a lot recently as it touched, I think it came close to touching $70. Yes, it did, or even higher maybe. Yeah, right there, 69.50, and then the pull back down. So last couple of days, some of these names that have gotten off a little bit there, off the bottoms, starting to give a little bit back. So yeah, there's that bad wick right there. I was gonna say, we didn't go to 64 today. Let's just check out PayPal. I'm not gonna edit that because then my charts are gonna be really screwed. So 68.20 right there, beautiful top. Maybe we'll make a mark of this for next week. We did nail Shopify at the top when we had looked at Shopify on, you weren't here Tuesday, I think, so it was with Max. We talked about, we've identified some levels here live on the show, and the Shopify wasn't near there, and it was $64. So that came pretty close today to hitting that one more time. There's 64, that's 63, there's 64 right there on a 5-minute chart, and this is why we liked it. You could look at, I don't know why my daily's not loading, but there it is right there. So we looked at 64 a couple times, and it came into play. It must have been this day, the 21st, then we hit it the very next day, and that was bang on, man. Now it went down $1 from that 64 level. So I still feel like Shopify, you got to look at that. It's had its run in the sun, up there day in the sun, up to $68, $69, and now fading back. Here we go. There it goes. Is Shopify. So yeah, there's that top that we talked about, 67.50 there for Shopify. So all as well as we continue to watch out, man. There goes.
I want to get
Uber right back up. No, go ahead. I have not much to say.
Mrs. Cookie 51 has been asking about Roblox, so we'll indulge.
Yes.
Maybe a flat bottom break ensuing on Roblox. It's been hugging the 50 period on the daily. You can see ride to 50 since it broke down in mid-April. It was that it broke down the 50 period. It's been over under a few times, grinding lower, and potentially closing underneath $38. It's at 37.80, so it's going to close under 38 unless something drastic changes in the last 10 minutes, and you've got room down to 33. So this is a stock kind of under pressure technically. This should be, I'm leaving that line in there. I figured out the cheat code that allows you to draw a line on the pre-pro 8 chart and then make sure it's there when I log in on Monday, and every single time I can switch away from it just fine. If we're underneath that, I think you're looking for shorts. It could be trend down to 33. Obviously, it's going to depend what happens in the market, but I love these types of trades where you've been consolidating an area for so long. Once it breaks down, there's just room for it to flush, right? Like the last couple of times it did this, you can see it flush. Here's a consolidation. There's several straight days in a row to the downside. It's a little different from shorting off of a high, We just let it get up to the top and then short 42 every single time on Roblox. In this case, it might fail break once and then you lose, might break the second time and then you win. You just kind of look short underneath until it ends up working out, and you can have some tight stops. So I'm now looking at Roblox for next week underneath that 38 level. As long as it holds underneath the 50 period, it is trending to the downside, and I would want to respect that. The market, when the market's testing highs and pulling back from highs, and a stock is making lower highs trending down, it can be lower hanging fruit for the short sometimes.
Okay. Oh, now we're a minute away. So that's what I was lining up. I was
Imbalances,
just looking
yeah.
through the chat, looking through a few things here. My wife's messaging me, so on and so forth. Yeah, so let's have a quick look here. This is what's going to populate. We do have billions coming through, apparently. We are almost out. So AMD, all these things are going to, there goes AMD. It breaks through 111. We're gone. Nothing. This is going to be an absolutely, like, it's not even on my radar, this trade right now. There it is, the breaking through. I already have there it is. So we're stopped out. Completely fine by me, man. They're on AMD. We're going to have to wait for it. AMD, good stock for us today. It's a positive stock, net positive. We're still working on getting that so you can see our positive and negative stocks. Hopefully that shows up pretty soon here for everybody. All right. Here we go, man. Only 7 seconds now until the imbalances. We'll wait for Alibaba. We're down here at 87 again. I put another bid there. There we go. We get that 87 fill. So let's see how much we want to crack down. There it is right now. So wow,
Yeah,
lots,
there's some
millions
imbalances.
and millions and millions and millions of shares. Look what AMD just did.
They're all small caps.
Jeez, AMD. We just lost on that. We had a small position. It was nothing. But look what AMD just did. It just went down 80 cents on that. 80 cents on that move. All right, so what's on here that we might want to look at?
Nickel's a buy.
Yeah, but these are nothing.
These are all super small caps.
Yeah,
like,
they're all super
remember we
small
told you it was going to be small
Wow,
caps.
AMD.
GoEV is 17 million to sell. Faraday's 12 million to sell. It's all penny stocks,
Wow.
man. Nicola's 6 million to buy. Like we said, small caps. Mullen is a sell of 5 million shares.
we're gonna get out
These
of
are
Uber.
all penny stocks. And what are the big? I don't even see the big names, to be honest. I'm scrolling down to try and find something. Apple is sell 2.7 million. Google is sell 2.5 million. You have to scroll way down to be able to see these.
Wow.
AMD is 2 million to sell.
Wow.
But there was so many small cap names at the top of that list. Microsoft 1.8 to sell. It is all sells on this imbalance locator, including some of those crazy small cappers. What's net? Not much to buy on this. It's got to be 6.3 billion we just got from Brendan is a net sell imbalance on the market.
That is ridiculous. I want to thank
Wow.
Jenny right there. Thank you so much for the $10, Jenny. I say
Wow.
salute to you as well. Thank you so much for that. And I mean, this is the thing, man. The super chat should be, they don't have to be flying in, but I'm just saying, like, how many of you before the show, this is something that we sort of introduced to everybody, and now we know, like, we used to get questions all the time. You know, what is that movement at 350? Or why does something happen at 350? Like,
Now
what
you
the
know.
hell's going on? And if you don't know, now you know. So that's that. Look at that, 84.80 right there on Alibaba. So that's, look, we gave up that. I didn't know. I mean, we were waiting for that to hit on AMD, to be honest with you. And I mean, that's just bad luck. But it's not. We didn't have, like I told you before, we had 1,000 shares on Google or anything like that. If I had 1,000 shares there and I just missed 50 cents, I would be extremely, extremely upset. But that was obviously, we don't hold into the close. Because if that, I mean, we do sometimes. But if that imbalance goes the other way on AMD and you have that, even if you have 100 shares, it doesn't even matter.
Meta?
Any kind of size that hurts your P&L, you'd feel silly losing it right there, right? And so that's something that, congratulations to everybody that had it, but there's the sell side. Nicola, oh yeah, that's such a small.
Meta must have been, I don't see Meta on here, but Meta's ripping.
Yeah, maybe it got turned around. There's Google, yeah, again, everything with the sell, but things are starting to pair off, I guess, here.
Meta is full, Meta is flying. Got back up to
had
289,
Meta.
high of the day,
Oh, wow.
$3 move on Meta.
Yeah, man, we
I
made
did
money
not
shorts.
see. I did
That
not
is-
see the imbalance on Meta at all. I don't want to sort alphabetically. It'll
I
take
do.
me just as long because I haven't seen it. I've scrolled to 1 million and haven't found Meta.
There it is, META.
What do you got?
Buy.
900,000. I scrolled
Yeah,
to
but
1
it was
million.
12 million.
So it's probably paired off. Just
So
now.
it was probably 13 million to buy.
Yeah.
Wow, on Meta.
Wow.
Wow. 13 million to buy, I would say, at one point there on Meta. The paired volume, right? So like GoEV, you got to add 20 plus 16. Goivi's a dollar name, isn't it? Yeah, 50 cents. So
That's a big time penny stock.
Meta is really going there. I'm going to go back
That
to
is
Meta.
a huge move.
I think we should short Meta. This is Meta's at
290.
52-week highs and going nuts.
355, 290 trade.
Take the risk.
We've seen this happen on NVIDIA. It happened on something else yesterday as well. I forget the name, where it was like right at, you had a resistance level. It was right at 355 when you expect things to flip. You risk to the high of the day, put the trade on right before imbalances tend to pair off. Bob's your uncle, literally your uncle,
Literally
not mine.
Yeah.
I think 290 would be that shot on Meta. I don't see why not.
All right, you know what? There we go. I'm out. I just got out of Alibaba at 90. I don't need to worry. There it is. I don't need to worry about this anymore. It's an up day. It's a good day for us. We're not at the exact high that we were at before, but we have a good day on the books right now. Let's just keep it like that. These imbalances were wild. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do that.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
I don't even want to look at the numbers today. I mean, we never, you know, I do this once a show at most, man. 600. I mean, it must be a slow day today. It's a beautiful summer day, so that makes sense that we only have 3,400 people, 3,600 people watching. But please hit the like and the subscribe right now. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000. Neil used to rap when we got 1,000 every Friday. Then we upped it to 1,500. I think we've been back there. So thank you so much, Benton, man. I mean, that means a lot. Shout out to me and Neil here for an amazing job. Thank you so much
Benton.
for that. That's what we're trying to do every single day.
Here's 55.
It's tough. Here's what? It's really tough. You can just keep it up there, man. I mean, I'm not... Brad getting me all ready for his closing show, and I'm going to be there with him in about 4 minutes. So, yeah, wild day, man. AMD falls down. We should have shorted that Meta. Is that what you're saying, Neil?
Yeah, I took
still
it.
no. What do you mean? No.
I don't think it paired off.
Yeah, John Riz. No, I haven't had that much coffee today, man. I'm just, I'm actually.
I never drink it in the afternoon.
I'm actually exhausted.
So I did take Meta, but I didn't get it right at 290. The local high is 70s. So I have 55 at 355. It did make a little bit of a turn. If it breaks the high of the day, I would get out. This was way better on NVIDIA the other day, because I feel like on NVIDIA, it was at the even, you got 90s, and then it fell like $1.50. Meta here makes a local top and is not really doing anything. So I don't know. I'd say a little bit of a disappointment. I thought there'd be a better trade to be had when things flipped. That's not going to be the case. As a matter of fact, I actually want to tighten this stop up, because it's not really doing anything.
No, nothing is really doing anything right now. What happened? Does Fabian know how to play Prad's beat? Because I think on a Friday, I mean, this would be about beat. Right if we had kind of a beat playing right now to celebrate what's coming at 4 o'clock. You do have the Mad one.
Couldn't Prad play Prad's beat?
Probably could. I just don't know how it's all hooked up technically right now. So, yeah, I thought AMD may flip as well. We're trying a very, here it goes. We're trying a very small trade here on the AMD flip, but it's already 356. So the 355 flip has already happened. Remember we had that trade yesterday where it went the other way into the close, but I think the sell was just a little too big today for anything to happen here. So we'll watch out for that. Meta right now. Nah, not this
that.
one.
No, not this one. No.
Take this off immediately.
No, not this.
Before I just bash that liquor bottle over my head.
You can't play that.
No, not that. No, the other one. The other one.
The good one. Okay. I'm just taking my earpiece out, so I can't hear it now. So anyways, back to I got Meta off the high,
made a bad request.
And it just filled 30s and it just filled 10s there. So a quick little in and out, not much of anything. If it got to 90, I think that would have been a much better trade. If it actually got to 290, I think I would have preferred that, but not a lot there. I hope you guys didn't actually hear that either. Maybe it was just in our ears, possibly.
I really hope
everybody heard that.
I really hope they didn't hear that.
Well, I don't know why we play that one.
I really like his other one.
The other beats, okay, fine.
Carvana.
It doesn't actually, like, nothing drops in. There's no drop, but it still sounds
it's a nice
good.
Chill.
It's very chill. It's very Friday vibe. Have a beer, have a drink, and then wait for the. You just keep drinking until it drops the beat, and then you'll be crunk.
That's okay. Don't even worry about it, Fabian. It's a silly request by myself. Okay, so right there, Carvana
That's
has
fine.
seen its better days, and today's down 16% there, making the moves down. Shout out to Pat LaFontaine, number 16. Watch out for this bottom here.
That was
20s
supposed to be
coming
on the
through. Again, we'll see Carvana next week. We talked about that with Michael Noss. I can't remember if he liked the long. I hope he didn't, because down 16% there today for the Noss boss.
Lemonade he liked.
Oh, he liked Canva.
He was talking about Carvana, but I don't know if that had set up for the long yet.
I can't remember what he said. That's the
Lemonade
thing.
was at the price. I don't remember if Carvana was. That's what I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
We'll double. He'll let us know on Monday. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, right? In the last couple of minutes. But today, yeah, the DTE options for sure. But again, today we did have rebalances. So that's why you do have some big ones. We work greater or less than 20 cents. I say less than.
Under.
Hold on a second. Oh,
At.
21 cents. Shout out to Rework and everybody that's holding those shares. All right, with only a minute left to play, the game is on, man. AMD, wow, down to 110. We've been shorting it, so that was a good trade for anybody that shorted that one. Meta up to 290. We talked about possibly fading that. I know Neil did that at the end of the day there. Google was a great trade for me today. My number one stock is Micron today. Able to get in and out of that one a little bit, as now we only have 40 seconds until we're there. I'm still on AMD. What's up, G-Trader? Good job on that one, man. We have to sell at the end of the day. So obviously, if we'd still be in, I'd have to get out right now. Greg often will yell at me if I'm still in position near the end of the day. But right now, we are flat with everything canceled out. You can see both of our positions at the bottom.
Yeah, I just covered Meta. It can't seem to flush any further.
Now flat. Okay, here we go. Only 15 seconds, man. And then Kat's over there.
Cat's on the bell. She's
on the-
dancing away. Get the camera
It's Friday,
off us.
man. It's
and get
Friday. She's ready to rock and roll there. She's in the club already.
Heyo.
3, 2, 1. All right. Wondering where some of those prints. See, look at that. Look at this print on Meta. Sorry, not on Meta. On AMD. Oh, what am I on? I'm on AMD. There it is right there. Look at this NASDAQ print that just hit. All NASDAQ prints will hit at the close. How much is this? Whoa, where did it go? Where did she go? Right there. Look at that. Huge print on Meta. Is that 41 million or 4 million? 4 million. So a nice little 4 million share print. Not 41 million, only did 69 on the day. 4 million there at the close. So that's probably what paired off.
That can't be right.
What did we see? We saw Meta, right? Meta had the big imbalance. So
GoEV's print was 36 million.
that's right. Remember, we did the math. Right here. 23 plus 20.
You know what? The next time a penny stock comes out
There's
of a big
Meta's.
sell, I'm just going to take a shot.
Remember we said Meta's was 12 million shares? It's 14 million. Oh, shoot. Did we just miss
Where
it?
did
There it
it
is right there.
print?
14 million shares on Meta.
Should have put the auction in.
Printed, I think, well, it just printed 73s, but 14 million shares on Meta right there at the end of the day. So yeah, shout out to volume coming in there on the close. 14 million shares. It only had done up to that point 28 million. Half of the day's volume on Meta at the closing print as it hits 52-week high. Like, that's what the purpose of the closing imbalance is
Get
to
your
have
liquidity.
minimal market influence. You cannot get out of half of the day's volume on one print
Normally.
ever.
But on a normal day, like not a Friday, not a third Friday, not a Russell rebalance, if somebody puts that into the auction, they're moving the stock on a regular day.
Yes.
Today, on a day where you expect there to be some extra size there, people are looking for that liquidity so it doesn't move as crazily. But if we saw that on a Tuesday, we'd probably go ham with that size of imbalance.
On a Tuesday.
don't know why I said
shout out
Tuesday,
to Veblen Wine. I see him in the chat right here. He's talking about wine. So yeah, you want to send some wine over here? Yeah, we're down. We're down. I'll keep pumping you Veblen Wine. You can get some over there. He wants to talk about the Teskey brothers featuring Bahamas. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what that's all about, but we can listen to that a little bit. But let's go back over to the desk. We got a show to do after market. So let's go find out from Brendan how we wound up today, or down.
Pradley is here getting set, so we are good to go here in a few minutes, guys. So just confirming, first red week in 8 for the NASDAQ. It was only about 1.5%, but first red week for both. The S&P was about 5. The NASDAQ, the first red week in 8 weeks. Crazy. 1% today, 0.8 there for the S&P, 0.5% for the Dow, guys.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a run. I was just looking at the cues. Like, even though you said it, I believed you, but I actually had to look it up myself. Yep. Okay, we're a bit of a top there, but anyways, we never broke outside of the range. That's the other thing. We actually held bottom to top exactly yesterday's range for the most part. So it just shows you've got to be trading the right names. You have to anticipate, like this morning when 15,000 was holding, that was a good turn in the market. Don't think we did enough with it because there were some great longs down there. But when you have a line in the sand like that, you usually want to respect it. That's one thing we can carry forward to next week.
All right, I'm exhausted. I'm going to hop on the ones and twos with Prad, so get ready for that show. It's the after party with Prad and I. We'll be talking about, we'll figure out what we're talking about. We'll talk about some of the movements today.
Have a brew.
We'll have a beer. We'll have some good talks coming through, maybe some NBA draft lottery and stuff like that we'll talk about because Prad just got traded, right? Bradley Beal is now out of Washington. Wait a minute, where did he go? I can't remember.
He went to Phoenix.
Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Well, I mean,
wow, that's
super
going to be
team,
that's
right?
going to be
I mean,
super crazy over there. All right, thank you
Jokic will
for
handle
watching. It's been a great week. We just talked about that. Thank you for hitting the like and the subscribe for everybody. Thanks to Prad Sharif today. Thanks to Obi today as well. We're hearing something. It must be someone's microphone.
I took mine out.
I took mine out as well. But thanks everybody. Thanks Brendo. Thanks Fabian, Rob, Randy, Mark, everybody that's been on the ones and twos.
Thank you,
Kat
guys.
behind us as well. Thank you to everybody today. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls, and most importantly, thank you to all of our viewers because, that's why we do the show. And thank you for supporting it, or else we wouldn't be here. So thank you to everybody that super chatted today as well. We're getting ready to rock and roll for that after party. So shout out to all of you. Have a great weekend, Neil. Good show again today. We're wrapping it up. See everybody on Monday, 8:30. Cha-cha-cha-cha.
And you'll see him on Prad's show right now.
Yes, right now.
Welcome to the after party. It's been a beautiful week, an amazing week on the stock market. As you guys heard just now from Brendo, 8 straight weeks for the